is the Put It in the Air podcast. This is the Put It in the Air podcast.
Yes. Welcome in, everyone, to the Put It in the Air podcast. I think we're on episode 7. I'm your host, Brennan Casello, a.k.a. East Coast Virus.
And I'm Pascal Rawls-Philippe, a.k.a. Punks in Drublic.
Yes, he is. I think we are both losers again this week. Man, this is fun.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, I mean, I'm used to it at this point.
At least in Put It in the Air. Well,
I'm last place 2 weeks in a row.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, last place in the rankings?
In the rankings. First in the waivers.
Because I'm pretty sure someone else got the low score of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually hit triple digits this week.
Oh, triple digits.
Yes,
You haven't been there since week
congratulations to
1 or
me.
2. Oh, week 2. Yeah. When we faced each other.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've got
Ooh.
people coming back healthy, people coming off of the bye, so I should be getting back to regular high scores, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's been fun looking at teams that are just on bye and injury and playing these guys like just these third string receivers. And it's fun to watch because some of these guys go off and it's like, haha, I told you. But
Well, it was like I was telling Marvellis. He was feeling really good about his team, and I was like, yeah, for now. For now. It's a long season, right?
yeah,
Chances are one of your superstars, at least one of your superstars, is going to go on short-term IR, right?
Yeah.
4 weeks out of commission.
and we're talking about Nico, of course, right?
Talking about Nico for him, but like I'm talking about for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's team. You're going to have one of your guys go down for some period of time, and you're going to have bye weeks, and are you going to be able to weather the storm? A lot of us have stacked teams where we've got multiple players from the same team as our starters. When bye week comes, that's a big hit to your starting lineup. So
Yeah, that's the truth. And it's crazy because, it's all about the entire team that you put up. It's not just about those few superstars. You need to have that glue that puts everything together, and those sleepers and those guys that have super high ceilings that could put up 30 points on a random day.
Can you imagine what it's going to be like when they go to 18 games and there are 2 bye weeks?
Oh, there's going to be 2 bye weeks? Is that what
That's what they're talking about.
Wow,
When they go to 19 games, there definitely will be 2 bye weeks.
Yeah,
but,
it's going to be a long season like baseball, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all right with that. I mean, they already treat the first 4 games as the preseason anyway, which, that kind of makes sense as to why all the offensive numbers were down.
And
People weren't really performing.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that answers our season-long question. It also made some people scramble and drop some really good players, and some players took a little time to come out of their shell. We'll cover a few of those today. What I find mind-boggling is you talked about Marv's team like he had a rough week. He barely pulled it off, but he did win, and
He
he's
did.
6-0, so we got to shout him out.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. Nobody really gets to 6-0 usually. I think like 5-0 is typically like the cutoff in our league.
I got to like 11-0 one year.
Oh, I'm sure it's been done. You got to
Yeah.
an 11-0. That's pretty solid. But
And didn't even make the final 3.
but here's the crazy thing. Teams like your team, Colin's team, Sean's team, they're 1-5.
Yeah.
You guys have good teams. You have the same sort of issues, but it really just depends on the combination of players you're putting together. And
I think that we're going to see this year that a lot of people are going to go on losing streaks based off of injuries and bye weeks.
yeah,
And so I think we're going to see a lot of shuffling around with the leaderboards.
I've got a candidate for this week's struggle with bye weeks and things of that nature, and that's Jay Ripberg, who actually I'm facing. So
Good luck for you.
yeah, he's got a good team, but he's got at least
Yeah, he
5
put up
players on
150
bye.
on me this week.
yeah. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, everyone. We are just putting it in the air for you.
Yeah.
So
So speaking of putting it in the air, something we have to address, right? It was probably the most eventful thing that happened this week.
Oh yeah,
Polkgate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who dimed at Polkgate?
Longfellow, was it?
Was it?
I think so. Maybe it was Ripberg.
It might have been Ripberg. Yeah. No, it was Ripberg.
Yeah, so I was messing around with my waivers, you know.
I'm glad you're the one telling everyone this,
And
because I don't know what the hell you were doing, yo.
yeah, when I see things happening like on the Thursday night game, I tend to start to build out my waivers.
Smart,
right?
Smart.
I do it throughout the weekend just because there have been times in the past where I don't have the time to do it Monday night, Tuesday, and I forget to put in waivers and I miss out on some valuable guys. So, I was doing that probably on Friday, and I saw that like Polk was there, and I was like, oh, I'd like to have Polk. Like if he plays well with Drake, then he could be great for the rest of the year, for keepers, whatever.
Did you notice that Billy had just dropped him for Cortland Sutton, who I had just dropped? That was on weekday waivers.
I had seen it, but I don't know if it registered. Like I just saw Polk, and I was like, and I'm sure I thought about it when I saw that he had dropped him. I was like, ooh, I'd like to pick him up.
Yeah.
But like I wasn't thinking that like he might be active for this week for waivers. And so Sunday morning hits, and I wake up and I'm taking care of breakfast for my daughter, and I'm like, let me look at what's going on fantasy wise. I'm like, hold on, what? What happened to like 10 points of expected? What's going on
Yeah,
here?
what happened to my running back?
And then I'm like, oh shit, where's Sermon? And I look on the shit and I see that he got dropped. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
And Sermon is a plug and play running back for you right now, because both of your keepers, which are running backs, both of your running backs, which are keepers, are on bye and injured. So both of them are injured. Sorry.
Right.
So you needed that filler. So why I saw that, I was like, why would you drop your starting running back, even if he's a filler? Like,
I definitely thought that it was going through on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right. Didn't even think to look. And so I right when I saw it, I texted you and Billy, and I'm like, yo, I fucked up. I did not think that that he was being dropped on waivers today. Can we reverse it? Billy said we got to take it to the chat. I'm like, yeah, sure, fine. I researched some guys. I was going to pick up Kamani Vidal which would have been a better option, and honestly, but yeah, I researched some guys and take it to the chat, and we take it to the chat. Billy decides it doesn't really matter because I'm gonna lose anyway. It's fucking stupid anyway, and so he just reverses it after a few people vote. And boom, Sean gets upset because he felt like we were cheating.
Not only Sean, there was some other voices that wanted to contend what had just happened, because it was a mistake, but it was.
Well, there was Jay Ritberg, who I was playing that day, so I didn't take his response as being unbiased. Jay, but yeah, no, I mean, I was fully willing to take whatever the poll suggested. It wasn't. I didn't think there was a big chance of me winning anyway. I think that by the London game, he already had a big. Oh right, because he had the Caleb Williams Swift double up.
Oh yeah.
And so he already put up like 55 points in the London game. So I'm like, not like this is gonna help me anyway, but it would be nice to score above 100 points this week.
Yeah.
And yeah, which there you go.
And the results were just dog poop. I mean, I think Sermon scored less than 3 points, and Polk, what did he?
Oh, I don't know. He might have had a goose egg. He might
maybe
have
a goose,
like
maybe
points.
A catch.
Yeah.
So it didn't turn out to be anything real, but it could have been something substantial, being that it was your running back. But why would anyone drop their running back? It was an obvious mistake.
Yeah.
I think if the votes did go out to more than half the league, we waited to actually make that move, which Billy did decide just to make that move because he's like, this is silly. I think people got a little too
Well, it was
sensitive
really only one
about
person. It was really only one person, and it was Sean. Because everyone else was joking around about it. Didn't really think it mattered, and
I didn't even respond because I was like, yo, I got 3 lineups to like work on and craft. I still don't know what I'm doing here. And we have London football. I don't really need to look at this shit right now.
Yeah, so Sean got upset, and I definitely antagonized him with a GIF or GIF, whatever however you pronounce it. And
say
then
GIF.
he left the chat.
Yeah,
Said he is not coming back.
So Sean has left the chat. He's unsubscribed from the podcast. And he said he'll play the season out, and then he's thinking of leaving. So before we talk about any replacing Sean, hopefully he will come back and maybe bounce back because his team is about as bad as his.
Yeah, but it's about to turn around for him, and he's our only.
I know he has a lot of.
He's our only 2 in a row winner, so it'd be nice to be able to keep him.
For sure, yeah.
He's one of the few people that used to talk shit in the chat. So hopefully this is, something that's a temporary thing and he'll come back.
Yeah, I mean, people have muted the chat before just because we do talk a lot sometimes. I know Frank one time was like, Colin, I already have like the Sports Center app and Fantasy Pros, and I already get all these updates that you send us right after we get them.
No, but that was the worst. Colin would be giving updates before it happened on the TV.
I mean,
like,
he was telling us
hold on.
offensive lineman toe injuries and shit like that. So, but shout out to Colin for keeping everybody up to date, and shout out to Frank for rejoining the chat, and Jay too. We've had some people leave and come back.
And shout out to Sean
back.
because I do believe that you're a closet fan and that you will be listening to this episode. So shout out to you for, your history in the league.
Yeah.
I think that we're a better league with you in it. But that's just my personal belief.
That's true. We should move quick along. We've kind of spent some time on the Polk Gate situation. Hopefully it all resolves itself. It is really silly anyway, so hopefully we all can get back and get some wins. As for draft grades, speaking of wins, Marv finally sent me his draft grade.
Oh, look at that. Marvelous. On the ball.
I'm not going to quote him because it's like a personal text between him and I. I'm sure he doesn't give a shit, but he doesn't like the draft grades. he shit on him before he sent it to me.
Of course.
And then he's like, all right, I'll look it up. And then he sent it to me, and he got a B, which is reasonable.
Right.
But projected to go 5 and 9, and just to prove that draft grades are garbage, he's 6-0. Guess what? He already superseded the amount of wins that he was set up for. And then Aggie actually responded, and I texted him. I haven't texted him in a long time. Like, we haven't talked, Aggie. We should hit each other up a little more. But anyways, he said he's going to look it up and get it to me later. So next week we'll have Aggie's draft grade and the final piece of the puzzle. And speaking of draft grades, we're going to just jump into the 5 and 37 bet since it's on the same wavelength of conversation. So this week, obviously, I lost and put it in there. I got beat out by Mikey Shortfellow. Good match, Mike. I mean, we both had pretty rough weeks, big injuries.
Yeah, that was a snooze fest.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just never woke up. I'm not going to get into the details of it, but it started with the first play of the game, Chris Olave getting a catch, fumble, concussion combo for negative 0.5 that he finished the day with.
Rough.
And I had him sitting next to Calvin Ridley, who finished with 9 rush yards and 8 targets with no catches.
Wow.
So it'll turn around. I'm not worried about it. But then in the Lions Den in Jay's league, I faced Jay's brother. I love his team name. His team name is Butt Fumbles. And he has a picture of like Mark Sanchez in like a black and white like GQ
Is he a Patriots
picture.
fan or a Jets fan?
I'm pretty sure he's a Jets fan.
Okay.
We actually.
I mean, it's either self-deprecating or it's
playing along with your own. Yeah, it's self-deprecating, but it's hilarious.
I love that.
But I beat him by 6. I'll get into that matchup a little bit later in Parallel Universe, and then I faced my little brother Kelsey, the Rivet Busters, who I beat him pretty good. He had a good week. He's starting to build a good team, but he's got some injury issues and shit like that. So So we are up to 9 wins.
I just had a thought that I'm going to put on tape, but the idea of whoever gets last place, the person in first place gets to rename their team.
I like this. We'll put it to a vote. I think that's
We should keep that in mind for the end of the season.
That should immediately go for voting. And I'll get Sean's via text unless he joins the chat hopefully soon.
Heard you.
So Colin, if I get no more wins for the rest of the season, you will win $5. I'm 9-9 though, so basically
all right.
the 500 people is where it's at.
All right, heard you.
And let's drop the mic real quick. We have breaking news.
So, Davante Adams has been traded to the Jets, and Mike Williams could be traded in a corresponding move. Wow,
Damn.
This is huge.
Maybe he will regain more value, Mike.
Yeah, you think?
But let's talk about Davante. The Mike Williams info just dropped, but Davante Adams finally on the move to an expected place.
Yeah, so we all figured that his hamstring injury was just him not wanting to play for the team anymore, trying to get traded. And so I imagine he'll be playing this week, right?
Oh, yeah. He turned Rodgers' frown upside down.
I mean, A-Rod still looks old.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it matters when he gets hit. That's the thing. Can he make it through the whole season?
Just look at his receiving core now.
No, it's sick. I mean, sick. I imagine this has got to be good for A-Rod owners.
Definitely
good for Davante owners. Not sure how it looks for Garrett Wilson owners.
It doesn't. It looks good, but not that good. The targets are
targets are going to go way down. He's definitely not going to get 23 targets in a game again.
Yeah, it'll be like 12 and 12, Davante and him.
But I mean, they're going to be higher value targets, and
they're going to be taking good corners away from each other.
See. To me, so we're going to talk about this a little bit later, because this comes up a lot during this podcast. But definitely big news: Davante going to the Jets. He's ready to rock and roll. Exciting for the AFC East.
It is really exciting. You know what else is exciting?
What's that?
Our next segment, which has to do with the Jets.
Ooh, I hate the Jets.
It's in the air. Put him in the air, everyone. This week's biggest question: how's Jay Ripper doing?
That's a good question. Why don't we give him a call and find out?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Well, we are here with another interview of another member of the Put It in the Air League. We have Jason Rittberg, a.k.a. Boston Bulldogs, here with us today. What up, Jay?
What's going on?
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So exciting.
I know.
Jay,
I'm glad to see both of you guys were able to break 100 this week.
I don't think
I know. I feel good.
I think you're looking at the wrong
at least
team
one
talking about me.
Oh, Brett,
at least one of the two of us.
Yeah, I got a double goose.
Well, I was trying to make it like, we're in the future, so this won't come out till Tuesday.
Oh, all right. So you were making a bold prediction that Dalton Kincaid, who you traded to me, is going to perform.
I mean, I have no faith in the Jets this week, but we'll see.
Oh, man. I am playing the Bills defense. I'm done. I'm toast. I've already written it off. Anyways, this is about you, Jay. What's up, man? How are you doing? How are you feeling about your fantasy team so far?
Well, I started off strong, but lately it's been floundering. You know, the bye weeks are always a trick.
Yeah.
Well, I've got like half my team out to bye this week.
Yep. And I'm playing you, and it looks like you're starting to come back. For the first half of this week, my bench was putting up like 60 points.
Nice. doesn't feel that great. It feels all right though when your bench does well.
Yeah, it's all right. It's about time. Freaking Gabe Davis did something. He hasn't done shit. Keenan Allen hasn't done shit all season. So
can't stand Gabe Davis. Keenan Allen, I still believe in him, but it's like I was ready to cut him after this week in your league, but then he scored 2 touchdowns. What the hell?
yeah, that's exactly where I was at. I was like, is he trade bait now?
Yeah.
The thing about Gabe Davis is that the only time he puts up numbers is when he's sitting on your bench. And then you start him because you think he's finally going to pop off, and he puts up 2 points.
Well, I'm talking more Keenan Allen. If anyone wants Keenan Allen, I'm definitely willing to make some.
Nobody wants Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen doesn't want Keenan Allen.
The Bears barely want him.
All right.
I mean, he might be running into form now. This might be him finally getting into football shape after showing up at OTAs 30 pounds above what he was expected.
It was force feeding. It was Caleb. They were forcing the issue. Right before he scored his first touchdown, they threw a ball to him and got called back on a penalty. They were forcing it to him. He's still good. He could catch, but I don't know.
Deep fish pieces.
Trade him, Jay. Trade him to somebody. Babalu, come get him.
Listen, we'll put him on the trading block for you. That's for sure.
There you go.
Yeah, good luck with that. But yeah, Jay, let's get into it, man. Let us know where you were born, where did you grow up, where do you live now? What's your story?
My story. All right. Born in the Bronx, raised in Yonkers, moved to Fairfield at 15, did high school there, went to school in Orlando, moved back to Fairfield for a little bit. Then I was in Brooklyn for a while, a little bit of Norwalk time. Now I'm up in Boston, about to leave Boston, go back to Fairfield for a bit, and figure out my next move.
Nice, man. Nice.
Okay.
The Brooklyn days were good. The Fairfield
Brooklyn
days were good.
Were great.
I'm glad to hear that you, as a Mets fan, were born in the borough that holds the actual New York baseball team, the actual good New York baseball team. But let's not get into baseball.
That's for another podcast.
That would be dope if there was a Subway Series for the World Series this year.
I mean, just the fact that I'm getting Mets Braves is pretty wild. Oh, not Braves. Dodgers is pretty fucking wild.
That's cool, yeah. Yeah, I'm actually happy if the Yankees play the Mets or the Dodgers in the World Series. As long as they make the World Series, we got to get through Cleveland first.
Cleveland looks pretty good.
Yeah, so do the Mets. But
all right, Jay, so when is your birthday?
January 9th, 1985.
85.
Okay.
Kicking off the year right.
These are easy.
So all the ladies,
I know the answers
he's
to these.
a Capricorn. He's a Capricorn. If you're looking.
Most Capricorns play a little football. Did you play football in high school or college, Jay?
No. I'm a small, skinny white boy.
And fragile at that. You're always
people call me Mr. Glass.
Yeah, you are Mr. Glass.
All right.
I bet you have an injury right now.
I've hurt myself on the bleachers watching football.
We'll ask you about that one a little bit later.
What's that?
I said we'll ask him about that one a little bit later. How you hurt yourself on the bleachers watching a game.
I've got stories and stories.
I'm sure. But who's your favorite team and why?
The Jets, and because I was born into it. I didn't have a say in that.
Yeah,
Father was a Jets fan. Father was a Jets fan. Was born, bounced on the knee to the Jets. My oldest jersey I just found is a Boomer Esiason jersey. Still fits. Chokes you, but it still fits. It's about from 92 probably.
Wow.
It's nice to hear that you weren't rebellious like most. Like my dad was a Jets fan, tried to raise me on it. My uncle, and I went to Big Blue. I do appreciate and love the Jets, but I wouldn't say love. I
like to eat. So if I chose to do any of other things, I probably wouldn't have eaten as a child. Yeah.
Yeah, see, my dad likes soccer.
And me and my brother share the same birthday, so if I was to go the other way, it would be very clear who he liked more.
Wow, you guys have the same birthday?
Same birthday, 5 years apart. Very weird.
That's crazy.
Damn, that's so crazy that your twin brother was born 5 years later.
I know, he got stuck in there.
Oh, shoot. That's good. That's a good one. When's your birthday? January 9th? All right.
That's
I'll
the
make
one.
sure to send your brother edible arrangement and send you a text.
He likes edibles. I don't know about the arrangement part.
So then just arrange some edibles?
There you go. Arrange those edibles.
I'm pretty sure we all
stick
guessed the answer.
Stick some gummies on a tree and you're happy. There's a new fucking deal for you, Mike. Edible arrangements or arrangement edibles. Boom. $1 million idea.
In a saturated market.
I like it.
Jay, what NFL franchise are you least fond of? We all know the answer to this.
Pascal's team.
Yeah.
Fuck
them.
Fuck them and fuck the fact that I'm 20 minutes from them.
It makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
I would ask you if you could hear the stadium when they're doing well.
Here's my story about getting punched in the face as a fucking Jets fan. Going to work at 7 o'clock. I'm wearing my Jets beanie. It's cold as fuck. Some fucking homeless guy pulls the beanie down over my face and just sucker punches me. Yeah.
You deserved it. That's what you get for wearing your Jets
fucking
beanie.
Glasses and headphones go flying. Dude fucking runs off. The worst part is when I go to the fucking police department to like see the video, 5 seconds before he hit me, he had his hand scratching his ass. Like digging in there.
Oh, man.
Was it open hand? Was it an open hand hit? Like, did you feel any?
No,
like,
it was like a hockey style. Like he pulled the hat down over my eyes and then boom.
Well, at least he covered. At least he covered your mouth for you.
So fuck Boston. What a shitty place.
What a shitty place.
Now that
That's
I can
funny.
agree with.
It's like The Walking Dead here.
Yeah, I don't like
fucking
Boston.
heroin zombies everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like that?
That's
yeah.
trickled everywhere,
man. Well, let's talk about some more fond memories. What's the first football game that you remember watching?
First football game I remember watching? Man.
Yeah, that you remember.
Was
First
it a
football
Jets
game
loss?
that you
It was
remember?
definitely a Jets loss. I don't know. I remember my dad always like, I'd like not sleep well, and he'd be like, "All right, come here, sit here," and then be like, the third quarter, and they'd be down by like 25. It was like, all right, time to go to bed. This isn't getting any better. But my
and
most,
this was in the 90s.
One of my crazy memories of the Jets was I was at the game where they made the immaculate comeback. And I was listening to it from the fucking parking lot because we all know that getting out of the Meadowlands is the most difficult thing to do. And we're sitting in the parking lot, hearing the comeback, trying to get back into the stadium. And by that point, it was too late.
No readmitted.
Yeah, I was like, never again will I leave. I won't leave a Mets game. I won't leave a Jets game. No, can't leave a game early after that one.
Yep. If you leave early, you deserve to miss the comeback. That's how that goes.
That's the way it works. You just hear it.
Man.
You hear the crowd screaming from your car. You're like, we made a big mistake.
Oh, man. Hey, Jay, I like. Go ahead.
No, at least you can feel comfort that it's you and everyone else that's sitting in their car at that same moment. It's not just you.
Oh, yeah. Vinny Testaverde.
Oh, man.
We've all been there, you know, especially with baseball. That's a big don't leave early type of sport. Because you never know.
Especially
Jay,
these Mets.
I love ruffling the feathers. Who is your biggest fantasy rival?
biggest fantasy rival.
Yeah.
I like beating Colin.
And why is that?
It's just fun. Because I hear him go, God damn it, every time. Like,
oh man, that's exactly.
I was expecting that to be your answer. We had a little bit of a
So
you guys
good.
had a little bit of a history,
we
colorful
have
history.
and you guys still deny the fact that I won a championship versus him, so I don't understand how that one works.
Moving along.
Mhm.
Let's not get off
We'll
topic.
address that.
Okay. Moving forward.
It's good.
Yeah.
So, on to another question. If you were to trade for one player this season, to trade for, who would it be?
Oh, totally. I want Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, let's do that. Trade for one player this season. I mean, I really could use a running back. I'd love fucking Derrick Henry.
I swear, Derrick Henry. I swear, I thought you were
Yeah.
going to say DeAndre Swift, and I was going to be like, now you're just turning the knife.
That one I already got. That one worked out for me very well.
Yeah, we'll see. He is good. He was a good piece.
Hey, I think I got 4 touchdowns off that trade today.
Yeah, 3.
Damn.
Okay,
That must hurt.
3, but it's still like 40 points. So
No, it was only 2, but you got a good chunk. You got
Well, no,
Swift
because
got like
Mark
2
Andrews.
touchdowns.
Mark Andrews got a touchdown too.
No, I know that. They each got 1. Andrews, have fun with that shit, man. I have Andrews I had him in 2 leagues, and I played against him today, just to really throw the gas in the fire, and he's really
Little
screwed me
salt
this
on the
season.
wound.
So I'm glad to get rid of him. Take him in your
Good.
bench all year.
Good.
All right,
Good
dude,
riddance.
so that's the like getting to know you part. Now we're gonna run into the quick. We're gonna do the quick fire question portion of the podcast interview. So get ready. Pascal is gonna start it off, right, Pascal?
All right,
Yes,
quick fire.
sir. So we're starting out with start, bench, cut. You're going to start one guy, you're going to bench one guy, you're going to cut one guy. All right. First, we're starting off with Mark Andrews, Dalton Kincaid, and Tyler Conklin.
Ooh, clever.
I guess I'm cutting Kincaid. It's going to start Andrews, and that leaves Conklin the other place.
The
So
best.
you don't like
The
New
best.
York football players? You only like New Jersey football players? That's what it is?
Yeah, Jersey all day.
All right. Speaking
All right,
of Jersey, pretty sure you have 1 or 2 or 3 of these jerseys. Start, bench, cut. Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold.
That's like a real conundrum in all of my leagues. So, that's entirely depending on who the defense they're playing that week.
Well,
So,
just think of him in a Jets jersey and then go from there.
in a Jets
Ooh.
jersey. Ugh.
No, you got to take them today. You got to take them today. In the Jets jersey, they are, well, yeah.
If I'm taking them today, then I'm going Geno Smith, Aaron Rodgers, and then the other one's on bye, so that's easy.
So you're cutting Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold's on bye, so that's easy. But he's fucking
cut
on
it-
fire
Wow.
right now.
You're cutting
So,
Sam
but you're gonna
Darnold,
cut
the best of the 3.
Well, you said it this week, so I'm just...
Yeah, are you going to cut him? Are
You're
you
gonna cut him
you're
and pick him
cutting
back up?
just because he's on bye?
I mean, if I have to play this week, those are my choices.
Gun to your head. You have to answer.
This is quick fire. You're making this too long for a quick
All right,
fire.
Pascal,
All right.
go.
Next, we've got Breece Hall, Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara. Although I'm taking out Alvin Kamara. No, that's Tiki Barber now. We're taking Breece Hall, Saquon Barkley, Tiki Barber.
Tiki
Ooh.
Barber in the fucking booth?
All 3 in their prime.
All 3 in their prime. Okay, well,
Yeah.
Breece
In
Hall...
all seasons.
Breece Hall is yet to be in his prime, in my opinion. So I'll take Tiki Barber, then Breece Hall will get cut, and the other one will sit on the bench.
Saquon. All right,
Okay,
next
okay.
and last for start, bench, cut. we've got the rookie receivers, Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas Jr.
I say start Neighbors, keep Thomas Jr., and cut the other ones.
Cut
Okay.
freaking Marv?
Yeah.
You're cutting
Yeah,
Marvin
what he said.
Harrison.
Marvin
All right,
Harrison
quick
Jr.
fire.
just walked off the field. He just got taken off the field.
Yeah, concussion.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
quick fire. What's your favorite football moment?
Favorite football moment?
Quick fire, Jay. Come on, go fast.
It's sad because it's like, I guess, almost
Sad moment.
almost catching the ball when I think it was Nick Folk kicked it versus the Patriots, which was the last home game we won versus this week. Like 19 Patriot games ago, that ball fucking soared right over my head in overtime.
Oh,
that
wow. That's dope.
Yeah, that
was your
one of
favorite
my
moment, like feeling the breeze of the ball going by your hair?
It was, and then in the parking lot, I tried to recreate the kick and kicked the can like 30 yards and was like, oops, I did not think I can do that. Like over 6 rows of cars. I thought I was going to duff it. I was like, oh my God, I think I just killed someone. Like,
All right.
Like, let's get the fuck out of here.
All right, Jay, Dak Prescott or Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts.
Good answer.
All right.
Prescott looks like shit right now.
Yeah, he does. Who is your go-to for fantasy football information?
Go-to for fantasy football information. Oh, Stephen A. Smith screaming at me all day.
What are you talking
Very
about?
New York of you.
Do you like Mad Dog as well when they're on together?
Not at all.
I love them.
Not even a little bit.
Oh man, it's a good one. All right, I'm glad that's your number one resource.
There you go.
When the Cowboys lose, you can put a cigar in your mouth and a cowboy hat on and go.
Brendan, this was supposed to be quick fire.
Oh yeah, quick fire. Time for the next question. Jay, who's your rookie of the year pick?
The quarterback from Washington.
Okay, good answer. I think you got that.
Oh man, the way Drake May played today. All right, but what's
James Daniels? Drake May? Get out of here.
Not even on the same planet. He might be MVP, let alone rookie of the year.
Dude, Bo Nix is better than Drake May. Moving along.
Oh, you're bugging. What's the best team in the NFL right now?
Maybe the Vikings.
Oh, good answer.
Yep.
And what's your Super Bowl pick?
My Super Bowl pick, like which teams versus each other, or just who's going to win it?
Like, who's going to win?
Whatever.
Let's go with, in the beginning of the year, I thought it was going to be the Saints until they lost Carr. Now I'm going to give it to the 49ers. They deserve it.
Okay, good pick.
Okay.
Good pick.
Okay. Who has the worst fan base?
The worst fan base? I think I just told the story about them already.
What is it, the Raiders?
I haven't gotten a stink fist from a fucking Raiders fan.
All right, Jay, speaking of the Raiders, who will have what coach will have the next dynasty?
What? I didn't hear you.
What coach will have the next dynasty?
Oh, Saleh.
that would be so Jets. That would make so much football sense.
Honestly, fuck that. I'm gonna answer Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles, all right.
Okay, Todd Bowles.
Hey, he's killing it in fucking Tampa.
Yeah, I like that.
Or whatever's left of Tampa.
We'll see what happens. Good answers though. I really like the Saleh answers. So suitable.
Would you like to participate in a bet where you face your opponent in week 8 that the winner can rename the loser's team for a week?
You
have to say yes or no.
Sure.
All right, you're in.
Why do I have a feeling that's me versus Aggie or something?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a little surprise.
You're really setting me up for one there.
It's a little surprise, and Aggie's not even aware yet, but he's into he's into the bet too.
It's fine. I guarantee you he doesn't listen to this.
I really hope that you beat him so I could go in as commissioner and actually change his name myself.
I'm gonna change it to my mom was fucked.
All right, Jay. A really important question. How do you think it would feel to finally win a championship in this particular league?
Oh, I know exactly how it feels. Thank you.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Ask Colin how I know how it feels.
Oh, because Colin won twice, so you like called him after he won and like asked him how
Michael
it
Vick,
felt?
baby. Michael Vick. That's all that matters is the Michael Vick put up those
Michael
points.
Vick, dude. I thought you were an animal lover. What are you talking about? Now you're just talking gibberish. What are you joining the
I'm
the
going
crazy
back that
population
far.
there in Boston?
No, you know what the problem is that I had to change my name like 3 times in this league, and I took over someone else's account, so my information went bye-bye.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That sounds
those
sketchy to me.
old wives' tales.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I want
we'll
to see
have
a
to ask Colin
screenshot.
about it when we have him on here.
It's before
Find an
I was
email.
the Squirrel Master. I don't even remember what the original name was.
See, so
All right.
then it's like even more in the wind, going with the wind.
Dude, my dad was in this league when it first started.
I think you have that confused with your league. Your dad's in your
No,
league
I
now.
don't. No, this was the first league he ever played in.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Did
This was
he
the
win?
first league I
Maybe
ever
he
played
won.
in.
Like, if he won, would you say that you won if it got deleted and nobody could look it up?
Absolutely not. No, because I like remember where I was when I won. It was like, wow, I can't believe this happened.
Did we live together at that point or no?
No, I was dating Nicole. Like this was a long ass time ago.
Oh, it was before the Brooklyn days.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. All right. Or maybe 10 Ike? No?
It was between the Brooklyn days.
Between the Brooklyn days.
It was after 10 Ike. It was when I was in Norwalk. That little.
That's
window of time.
the Norwalk days. Okay. Cool. Well, we appreciate that, man. The next question, actually, I'm going to ask you the next question, and I'm going to let Pascal finalize this. All right?
All right, let's hear it.
All right. So ready for this?
I guess.
Would you rather? Well, of course you're ready. It's quick fire, so you got to be
This is
thoughtful.
the slowest quick fire I've ever been a part of.
It's
All right.
like
Quick fire I've ever been a
revolutionary.
part of.
It's like
At
revolutionary
this
war.
point, we
quick
should
fire.
just call it the slow burn.
Yeah.
Right.
We definitely got some soggy, damp wood right now, so there's a slow
I'm
fire,
down
but
for
the fire is still
renaming
burning.
for this.
We're crackling over here.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, would you rather eat a nice steak dinner with Bill Belichick or an all-you-can-eat shrimp and shellfish fest with Joe Namath?
Well, I'm allergic to shrimp and shellfish, so I guess I'm
So
gonna.
you're saying Belichick?
I guess I'd like if I'm gonna have food. I mean, if I have to eat something, I'm gonna eat with Bill as opposed to die with a Jet. So I mean, I've spent my whole life dying with the Jets, so I guess I'm gonna eat with Bill.
I mean,
Wow, I'm so
there's
surprised
no one
you didn't-
More,
I'm allergic
no
to
one more
shellfish,
iconic
so why would I
in Jet-
eat shellfish? Why would I go for an
I
all-I-can-eat shellfish
I
dinner?
thought you would give more pushback and say, I would never touch a steak with Belichick.
I mean, I can't eat the other one, so you didn't give me many options.
Well, what if you just like pretended to eat it just so you could be in the presence of Joe Namath?
Joe sucks.
Oh
He had one
man,
good year.
I picked the wrong legend.
I'm a Jets fan.
I
Joe
could
had one
fucking
year.
kiss you right now.
Yeah.
I can fucking kiss you on the mouth right now. It's every Jets quarterback has been tainted since Joe Namath.
Oh, that was the
Yeah.
best interview ever.
Ever.
What did he said something so
I
funny
can
like
kiss you on the
tingly.
mouth right now.
All right. So last but not least, Jay, do you think Sean will ever come back to the chat?
Oh, he'll be there next week. He might come back as Sean Doe because that's the cool thing to do.
Sean Doe, yeah, that's a good one.
That would be good.
Yeah, it's because it wouldn't let me register under my name because I already had an account. So I was just like, all right, J Doe, here we go.
So clever. Sean Doe.
Rock
Nobody's
on.
going to know who he is, though.
He's going to be a mystery.
Yeah. Well, that was fun to wake up to this morning.
There you go. Yeah, it's
Uh,
definitely morning.
Oh, definitely fun to be a part of.
I don't know if Sean's
I
going
got to be
a
number
part
two.
of. Yeah. Well, you're a good number two.
I'm the
Especially
big
when you
shit.
haven't been number one yet.
Cricket.
Don't worry,
down
I know
shirt,
how to. I
cricket.
know how you feel.
Yeah, maybe one of you guys will win one day.
I feel like the Jets,
Maybe.
where I won a very, very long time ago, where nobody seems to remember.
Jay, the thing is, before the Super Bowl era, like those were just called, fun trophies.
No, it was number 3, but still.
No, I know.
I might have even been the 3rd win in the league. Who knows?
Wow.
So you're saying that it goes back even further, like ancient aliens further?
I mean, if we're a bunch of Scientologists, then yes.
Who built the pyramids? Quickfire, hurry.
The Jews.
L. Ron Hubbard.
All right, well, that concludes our interview. I know you have a very interesting Mets-Dodgers Game 1 to watch. Good luck.
Oh, yeah.
And any parting words for our listeners? Anything you want to put out there? Anything, whatever you want to say. The floor is yours.
Make trades with Brendan. It works best for you.
Well put. Well put.
All right, Jay.
All right, thanks,
Appreciate
Jay.
your time, man. And,
No problem.
We'll see you out there. By the way, real quick before we part, guess who you face next week?
You, I hope.
Yeah, and guess who's on bye next week?
Hopefully your quarterback.
No, but DeAndre Swift. You were close.
Oh, okay. Well, I've spent the whole season without him, so I can go 1 week without him, I guess.
Damn, I
You know
was trying
who's
to
also
get
not going to
another
be
jab.
playing? You
It's
know who's
okay,
also
because
not going to be
I
playing
put
next
up
week?
fucking 50
Who?
points
The
on
guy
my
who
bench.
got the guy who got a concussion this week, Chris Olave.
Yeah, shoot. Don't
Yeah.
need him.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Man, you try to do nice things.
That for me. Thanks for dealing with that for me.
Yeah. You try to do nice things. You try to have nice things. Well, we'll see how season long this trade turns out. Week 1, obviously, you're so far on the plus side.
You can't always get what you want, but sometimes you get what you need.
Ah, very nice.
There you
And
go.
on that note, everyone,
Little Rolling Stones.
thank you for joining.
Absolutely.
Jay, now bugger off to the
Let's
the
fucking go,
Queens
Mets.
Yeah,
That's
man,
correct.
go
Brendan-
Mets. Take out the Dodgers. What's up, Pascal? You want to shit on my trade shit
That's
too?
it. I was about to call you out for being horrible at ending the segment and just running it on nonstop. But
It's a slow burn.
then you
It's a slow
kept
burn.
on talking. So I was like, I'll just let him continue running on the segment because I guess
All
that's
right,
what we're doing
let's just do a countdown together to close this out. You guys down? We'll start from 5.
No, you hang up first. No, you
All
hang
right.
up first.
here.
5,
Bye,
4,
Jay.
3.
Bye.
Later, bro.
So it was good to talk to Ripberg, even though he destroyed me in the end. His team had a really good week. Thanks in great part to you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brendan. I
mean,
appreciate
I
that.
got the short end of the stick on that one as well.
You
so.
gave yourself the whole stick, you dick.
Nah, I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I lost on both facets of the trade, but we'll wait till we talk about it
You
later.
really did. It was the and you couldn't just wait 12 hours to make the trade. That's what really kills me. Is
Yeah.
if you just waited 12
I
hours,
did that.
then it would have gone through for this week and not for last week.
And I probably would have won, actually. Yeah, because Olave would have been
Yeah.
Swift, and I would have won. Damn, I didn't even realize that. I'm thinking about Jay almost losing, and I actually would have won if I didn't make that trade
Yeah.
12 hours later.
Basically, all of the moves that you make for your teams are against your best interest.
I almost completed a trade with Marv. I'm going to have to bring it up, maybe.
There's a trade between me and Billy that I'm going to bring up, so we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll wait till the trading block. But as for now, let's talk about, this past weekend.
what
with,
actually did happen.
Yeah, with Dude.
What
What
happened?
And we'll start this off with the pun down.
49ers at Seahawks. Injuries don't stop the 49er train, with their third string running back hitting for 10 yards per carry alongside big games from Debo, Kittle, and Purdy. Meanwhile, the Seahawks go down by 16 before the first half whistle, which compels them to rely on 52 passes on the arm of their journeyman QB.
San Francisco sheds their skin as players filtering through the blue tent contribute to the victory. San Francisco 36, Seattle 24.
Jags at Bears. The Bears keep rocking out behind their emo QB and another outstanding game from their veteran running back Swift. Meanwhile, the Jags are really just Jags, including their $50 million a year quarterback, as he makes his case for the Daniel Jones QB of the Year award.
The British Bears, looking fully out of hibernation, send the Jaguars to the jungles back west. 35-16.
Texans at Pats. The Texans show why they're one of the premier organizations in this league by dominating in all three phases of the game. Meanwhile, the Pats fans should be enthused by the rookie QB having the best debut of any of the rookie QBs this year, but we're the worst fans in the NFL, so instead we're complaining.
The Patriots rookie channels his inner Jameis Winston as he stacks all the boxes of the stat sheet, as Houston looks to pick up where they left off last season. Texans 41, Patriots 21.
Commanders at Ravens. In the game of the week between the present versus the future, Lamar, King Henry, and the road-grading Ravens run away with the game in the end, while the veteran QB outdueled his rookie neophyte through the air and on the ground. Meanwhile, Jaden goes blow for blow with the AFC juggernaut in the first half, but his modest efficiency doesn't match up to Lamar's explosive efficiency.
These offensive neighbors showed up to the block party, but the absence of a Washington run game proved to be the difference. Baltimore 30, Washington 23.
Browns at Eagles. The Browns keep this one close all game behind outstanding defense and special teams, while their offense is being held back by less than desirable QB play. Meanwhile, the Eagles are a bit rusty coming off injury plus the bye, but do enough to get the dub.
The Eagles got back their top two receiving weapons and everyone else sucked. Eagles 20, Cleveland 16.
Cardinals at Packers. Jordan Love comes out on fire, skunking Arizona in the second quarter by delivering TDs to his three main receivers before the Cards got on the board. Meanwhile, Kyler Murray comes up short 10 days before Call of Duty launches, so we know he's studying video, but what video is he studying?
As Dubs comes back and doubles down, Watson comes back and touchdown. Green Bay loves the passing attack. As for Arizona, well, they lost 34-13.
Bucks at Aints. Keebler Mayfield stacks all the stat boxes as he throws for 325, 4 tutties, and 3 picks, as the Bucks explode for almost 600 yards of offense as random unknown second-year running back Sean Tucker blows up for 34 points. Meanwhile, the Saints keep it close in the first half with rookie Spencer Rattler playing like a vet, but he just couldn't strike with the same venom in the second half.
It seems these two traded quarters of dominance, but Baker turns out to be the shaker, and Rattler makes more mistakers. Tampa Bay 51, New Orleans 27.
Colts at Titans. In this battle for top 10 draft positioning, 40-year-old QB Joe Flacco makes his case for still being one of the 32 best QBs on the planet. Meanwhile, Connecticut high school football legend Will Levis throws for 2 more yards than his running back ran for, while prized offseason acquisition Calvin Ridley catches 0 passes for 0 yards because he quote-unquote needs some targets in the beginning of the fucking game too.
In the worst game of the week, the Colts looked a lot better than the Titans, who looked a lot like the Dolphins without Tua. Indianapolis 20, Tennessee 17.
Chargers at Broncos. It took 3 quarters, but the Chargers did skunk the Broncos 23-0 by the end of the third quarter, behind good games from Herbert and Dobbins. Meanwhile, No Nix is back looking like Kenny Pickett West, despite making things look respectable in the last 5 minutes of the game when the other team had packed up to go home.
As Herbert, Dobbins, and the Bolts shut out Denver, who puts up 16 points in garbage time. Chargers 23, Denver 16.
Steelers at Raiders. Justin Fields does nothing to dispel rumors that he's more of a running back than a quarterback, but he does just enough to make people question if Russell Wilson should take over the job when he's fully healthy again. Meanwhile, the Raiders are a bad football team and should be playing to draft their next QB.
Pittsburgh finally playing like an over 500 team as the second-string Raiders can't seem to look like the starters. Pittsburgh 32, Vegas 13.
Lions at Cowboys. The Lions are a wagon, and Jared Goff should be a frontrunner for MVP as he destroys the Cowboys in a bitter win where they lose Aiden Hutchinson to a gruesome leg injury. Meanwhile, the Cowboys suck.
As the Dallas Brandon Aubreys get smothered as the Lions fire on all cylinders. Not sure who had the bigger loss, Detroit losing Hutchinson or Dallas losing 47-9.
Falcons at Panthers. Kirk Cousins comes back down to earth as he throws for less than half as many yards as last week in a game that was dominated by the Atlanta ground game. Meanwhile, the Panthers also suck.
As both teams play decent, but Atlanta shows Carolina how much better they actually are. Atlanta 38, Carolina 20.
Bengals at G-Men. In a game where Joe Cool had to do it all himself, he did it all himself. Meanwhile, the New Jersey A-team also suck.
As the Bengals come out of this defensive struggle, continuing their turnaround as the Giants are left stuck in the mud. Bengals 17, Giants 7, and it's sad.
Bills at Jets. Josh Allen does just enough to quiet rumors of his being overrated on a windy day in New Jersey, as rookie running back Ray Davis does it all on a quiet day for the offense. Meanwhile, the New Jersey B team really suck.
I guess they forgot to turn off the jet engines at MetLife, as last night was full of windy drifts and missed kicks. You think the Jets will drop their kicker to open a roster spot for Devontae? Anyways, Jets lose 23-20.
All right. So you were predicting the Devontae, or did that come after the trade?
I added that on the train here right after I heard the news about Devontae Adams being traded. So
where do you think Mike Williams is going? Is he going back to the Chargers?
Nah, dude. I mean, it would be smart for him to do that, but it's not going to happen. They're not going to do that, and then we'll get breaking news before the end of the show where they did that.
Right. I mean, it makes sense from both parties. The Chargers need more wide receivers. He would want to go somewhere where he knows the quarterback, right? But might still even have a house there. I don't know. I think that would be smart on everyone's point.
I mean, but are they looking good? I mean, does it look like an appealing place? I know he knows the place, but how are things left off? The Chargers don't really look like they're gonna maybe even make the playoffs. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Yeah,
it looked like he got hurt last night. Last play of the game or whatever.
Head injury. More people need to wear the big old cartoon head guardian masks.
I think you're right though. I mean, more and more people are starting to wear it. Excuse me, Jabril Peppers was the first guy I saw wearing it.
Is he wearing it now that he's not playing, or
probably?
He looks like Russell Wilson on the sideline.
Oh,
It would be
man.
great if Russell Wilson also wore the Guardian cap because that's all he needs to look like the world's largest
Biggest
dork
doof.
ever. He's such
Yeah.
a doof, man.
I do hope that Tua wears it when he comes back. Like,
yeah.
don't be cool.
Yeah.
Wear the Guardian cap. If anyone in the league needs it,
Let
he
the
needs it,
defensive guys make fun of you.
right?
Cover
but
your
like
head.
all the wide receivers, why wouldn't you? Like, who cares? Just wear it. Wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Olave, Marvin Harrison, Goddard. Let's talk about some injuries, man. Concussions are happening.
Yeah, so this week was a big one again. But at least we got people coming back.
Finally.
Puka Nacua, not quite yet, but we're getting close. He should probably be back week 8 or 9. But there is a high risk of a setback, so Sean's going to want to keep an eye out for that.
Somebody tell him.
You know he listens. Stop. Christian McCaffrey, suspected slow ramp up, and there's a good chance that there's going to be load management through the rest of the season because they're making the playoffs. So
What is this, the NBA? Come on.
I mean, listen, they've got like 5 running backs that could run for 10 yards a carry. It's not like they need him right now. So they might as well have a slow ramp up, have him on a pitch count. Then we've got Isaiah Pacheco looking like he'll be back about week 9 or 10, but his production is likely going to fall off for the rest of the season. He probably won't be back to normal until next year.
But I see him coming back quick just because, I mean, Kareem Hunt's doing his thing, but are they really going to, you know what I mean? I don't think anybody's really like stamped their name in the running back room right as of yet.
Yeah, definitely not. Then you've got Cooper Kupp, who is TBD for this week. That's big for Sean.
That's huge.
The data slightly favors his return for next week, so gonna have to see the practice reports. Plus, he's older. You don't really want to risk him, so probably back next week. But might have Puka and Cooper back weeks 8, week 9. So that'd be huge for any of those owners. We've got Nick Chubb, who is likely back this week.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that, even though I have no shares of him anywhere.
So that's Aggie, right?
Aggie has him in our league. And,
so Aggie's top score from this week, and he's got Nick Chubb coming back. It's going to be a slow ramp up, but the rich keep getting richer.
Yeah.
Then we've got Devon Achane, who's probably back this week from bye and concussion. Aaron Jones back practicing, likely back this week, moderate re-injury risk.
That's good news for him.
Jonathan Taylor, most likely back this week with a high re-injury risk. TJ Hawkinson, likely back this week at 85% efficiency, 3-week ramp up to full speed.
Damn, I didn't expect that either.
Malik Neighbors, it was surprising that he missed 2 games. So that's an outlier. He's likely back this week, but you got to watch out because when you get bad concussions like that early on, it's easy for you to get your bell rung again. So they got to look out for that with him. He's one of those Guardian cap guys.
Yeah, one of them 18-inch heads.
Yeah, hopefully he's smart about that. Then we've got Rashid Shaheed. Got a Thursday night game this week. He's probably out.
Oh, what happened to him?
I'm not sure, but they're talking about he has something going on. So,
shit!
Look out for what's going on. Yeah, Marvin Harrison got a concussion. He's probably out for Monday Night Football. Jordan Mason, he's probably playing this week.
Really?
But he'll probably have a dip in touches and a dip in production for the first 1 to 2 weeks. So the way that Isaac Guerrero played, he's the rookie. We'll see what happens there. Probably, I mean, who knows? Split playing time, yeah. Yep. Travis Etienne and Tyjae Spears both had hamstring injuries. Moderate severity, they're probably out like 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, but Etienne, this is the worst time for that to happen because he was already losing touches to Tank Bigsby.
Well, Tank didn't really play so well this week, so
still,
it depends on how he does over the next couple weeks.
That's true.
If Tank shows out, I mean, Etienne is still the receiving back though, so he'll still have value in that role.
What I found
but
crazy is he's already marked
He
his
could lose his starting job for sure.
He's already marked as doubtful. I know he's likely out 2 to 3 weeks, but to be marked as doubtful so fast, something to be said about that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right, man. Let's jump right into the matchup results for Put It in the Air.
And we have some more breaking news. The Steelers are in line to start Russell Wilson. Wilson expected to get first team reps amid Justin Fields' 4-2 start.
Wow. That
Yeah.
really plays quite a large role in some trade business that's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so shit, that's pretty crazy.
Oh, do you have a trade?
Yeah,
trade
yeah.
talks for
Yeah.
Justin Fields.
We should
Now, so I was hearing from someone that like it would make sense, even if Russ is starting, to have plenty of time on the field for Justin Fields. And so I wonder if he gets the Cordero Patterson treatment and gets changed over to a running back.
Yeah, if only
If
he
he
gets
gets-
changed back on the platforms you play in. Otherwise, don't play him as quarterback if he's getting
No.
Taysom Hill touches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder.
If you could play him in your
how
flex,
efficient.
yeah, but
Like if they switch him around to Taysom Hill, Cordero Patterson type, I don't know, man. He could have some value.
that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh man, the trade is really interesting though. I am
Well,
dying
we'll
to talk
get
about
to it, right? We'll get to it. All right. So we're gonna do the Peter rundown.
Yeah, let's run it.
All right. So this week, East Coast Virus versus Salute Your Short Fellows. In a stinker for the ages, East Coast Virus falls to Salute Your Short Fellows 99.96 to 119.48. Once again failing to reach 100 points, ECV got good returns from RBs J.K. Dobbins, 18 points, and Ken Walker, 21 points. But Brian Thomas, 5.7 points, and Calvin Ridley, 0.9 points, were
Yikes.
massive disappointments, whereas an early concussion for Chris Olave, negative 0.5 points, has East Coast Virus regretting the timing of his recent trade. Once again, ECV left valuable points on the bench, where 6 points could have been 40 points and a win if he had started the right players. On the other hand, Salute Your Short Fellows did not get negative points from any of his players, which was a good start. Alec Pierce, however, did his best Gabe Davis impression and put up a goose egg. But 23 points each from Scary Terry and George Kittle, 18 points from CJ Stroud, and double digits from Jaden Reed and Austin Siebert was enough to seal the deal.
Man, you got me stuck there.
Yeah.
Really difficult.
I had to go in because there was no other explanation for what happened.
So the next matchup, I guess we'll do this one. Punks and Drublick versus the Boston Bulldogs. Punks and Drublick shows up against the Boston Bulldogs with a much improved week, but it turns out it wasn't enough. Trey Sermon, last week's bright spot, runs for 1.6 yards a carry, finishing with 2.9 fantasy points on 18 carries. Yikes. It didn't help that Punk's defense was involved in one of the worst games of the season so far, as they put up 3. Boston Bulldogs puts up big numbers this week with rookie Caleb Williams with over 28, A.J. Brown welcomed back with 22, and a lovely 22 from newcomers Swift. In fact, this one would have been a lot closer if the Bulldogs had not finalized the trade on Saturday, where he would have likely played Olave instead of Swift, which would have brought Jay's score down by 22.4, and he still would have won. Final score 155.44 to 126.26.
In my defense, only 4 teams scored more than me this week. So I am falling to an unfortunate schedule as well as not putting forth the best effort.
In my defense, 99.96 points is 1 yard shy of 100. It's literally 1 passing yard shy of 100.
Oh, so sorry, my friend. So sorry.
I'm not even feeling that bad.
All right. Catch This Fade versus Steal Your Face Mask. This snooze fest came down to the wire as Steal Your Face Mask attempted to deal Catch This Fade his first loss of the season during an injury-plagued week. Propelled by 25 from Jordan Love, 17 from Jamison Williams, and 15 from Chuba Hubbard, Catch This Fade squeaked out the win 109.82 to 104.32 over Steal Your Face Mask. 19 from Lamar, 35 from Chris Godwin, and 25 from Garrett Wilson wasn't enough to overcome 2 goose eggs from injuries to Marvin Harrison and Dallas Goedert, who went out early with their respective injuries. Despite 0 points from 2 players and 7 points combined from his starting running backs, Steal Your Face Mask was still in it late into Monday night's game, needing only 5.5 points to tie it up. Unfortunately, he, like the Jets he was relying on, fell short of a win.
Damn.
Yeah, it was close.
I know.
It was a bad game because neither of them had anyone really going off. And, well, I mean, they had guys going off, but then they also had guys going for 0.
If you put up Chris Godwin and Garrett Wilson this week and lost,
I know,
like,
right?
holy shit.
That's rough. But 2 goose eggs from injury. I mean,
almost winning, yeah.
Yeah,
insane.
Almost winning. Almost took out Catch's Fade, would have given him his first loss. But shoulda, coulda, woulda, but she didn't.
Moving along to Connecticut, where G-Men's Crusaders faced the Auto Draftees. On Thursday night, the Geno DK double stack gets 2 TDs wiped off by yellow napkins, only to get burned later by a Lockett TD. What started off looking grim for G-Men's Crusaders, he was able to stay competitive. All it took was a bold 25-point performance from who else but Derrick Henry. The Auto Draftees was let down by Dak Prescott, who finished with just above 3 total fantasy points on the day. A pair of 6-pointers from his Bears receivers didn't help as well, as he kept his lead into the Sunday night game. It all seemed won by Frank until Chase Brown burst through the seams for a 30-yard touchdown with under 2 minutes left in the game. Frank goes down. G-Men's Crusaders 107.78. The Auto Draftees 102.92. Ha ha ha. Sorry, Frank.
Wow, sounded like a good game.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It really went down to it, man. I mean,
Yeah.
That was the last player of the both teams' week. Chase Brown. It didn't look like Bob was going to pull it off. He was down by, I think, 4.
Kudos.
Shit.
Well done.
Against my team, the Giants.
Yeah. I Fucks Your Mom versus Captain Cannabis. In this week's biggest blowout, our high score, I Fucks Your Mom, put up a respectable 160.16 to Captain Cannabis's 113 flat to squeak out the top score from the MILF Fuckers by 0.26 points. I Fucks Your Mom was propelled by 20 points from Jaden Daniels, Najee Harris, Deebo Samuel, and Romeo Dobbs, 22 points from Zay Flowers, and 24 points from Cole Kmet. It didn't even matter that Keon Coleman and Saquon Barkley combined for a measly 13 points, as I Fucks Your Mom had this one in the bag. While Captain Cannabis didn't have the distinction of being the only team to not score triple digits this week, Brendan, he had bad injury luck, with Etienne going down with an injury early for negative 0.1 points. Tucker Kraft and Christian Kirk coming back down to earth, and Antonio Gibson getting gobbled up by the Texans D. Hey, yo. Strong games by Baker Mayfield with 25 points, Deontay Johnson with 20, Alan Lazard with 23, and Evan Engram on his bench with 18 provide hope for when Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua come back from IR over the next few weeks. Sorry.
Oh, that's the end. I'm sorry. I was going to wait
yeah.
for the cough.
No,
Put a cough on it. It's over.
Yeah, it was done. It was done early on.
Aggies
congrats, really showed out
congrats
this
on
week.
pulling that off with Keon 5.7 Coleman.
But it was close because Scott was really close to getting top score.
Oh, I know. He pretty much had it.
Yeah, if he hadn't listened to me, right? We were talking before the games. He was like, "Yeah, I don't know if I should do Kirk or."
He asked me the same thing, and I told him Cousins.
I told him Cousins too.
It was the right pick, even though it turned out to be the wrong pick. But you won.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
Yeah, win's a win.
The last matchup of the week takes place in Ansonia, Connecticut, where Great visited the Milfuckers. Last second change at quarterback right before the Thursday night game from Purdy to Cousins proved to be a bad move for the Milfuckers as he benched 24.1 for 12.5. The move did, however, create the showdown of the double stacks, where Cousins, London, and Bijan put up 57.6 total, and Burrow, Moss, and Chase put up a combined 32.52. Scott's entire team had double-digit fantasy output minus the San Francisco defense, who finished with 7. As for Great, he had Brandon Ayuk fall back on his face with 2 catches for 37 yards total. The Jets D, who put up a deuce, and the nail in the coffin, having Zach Moss put up just 0.5 points. Milfuckers wins 159.90 to 127.32. And that is what happened.
Man, it's tough to get wins this year.
It is.
You got to put up a lot of points or get lucky, and
you got to play. You got to
week.
play the players that are on our next segment. We're gonna tell you who was on top in each position. The superlative rundown. Hey, yo. All right, guys. Caleb Williams comes in his first week on the top with 28.64. The rookie, the emo rookie. I liked that little insert.
It comes against me
in the pun down. Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, it's rough too. You also played against his running back.
What do you do when you come across an elephant? Wipe it off. Boom. Next.
I have to listen to this later to get that one. Next, running back of the week. Who else but Sean Tucker?
Everyone predicted that one.
34.2 fantasy points, and dude was on fire. Wonder if anyone's going to pick him up, because he'll probably be the straight drop of the week next week.
Probably.
Wide receiver of the week, Chris Godwin, with a outstanding day. 35.5 points.
He really showed out.
11 catches, 125 yards,
that Bucs
2
offense,
TDs.
man. Like,
I was
putting up numbers.
I was loving it because I was playing against Mike Evans in 2 leagues. I love Mike Evans, but I was hoping for him to put up 5 points this week. It didn't really help me, though. Anyways, the tight end for the second time of the year, I think he matched his score or something similar. Cole Kmet of the Bears with a 24-burger. I think he had 2 TDs early in the game. Kind of what helped Caleb Williams, so that stack would have proved pretty awesome.
It does look like tight end numbers are starting to pick up a little bit.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Hopefully that keeps up through the season.
Yeah, it should. The kicker and the defense go to Jake Bates and the Detroit Lions defense, even though they lost Aiden Hutchinson. Bates, the kicker, puts up 17, meaning they're just scoring tons of points, and the Lions defense puts up 18, and they're in need of some help because they had one of the best guys' leg look like a gummy worm.
Yeah, that looked bad. He was, I think, leading the league in sacks and playing like his hair was on fire.
He was the
I
reason.
guess that was part of the problem. But
the reason why the Lions' run defense was top notch. Nobody can get through them. He was like the cement in the wall. So we'll see what happens. I mean, they still have some really good defensive players. Anzalone, there's some other big dudes back there that get shit done.
The secondary is
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about them. I wouldn't be if you're a Lions fan or a fantasy owner of Lions offensive players or even defensive or kicker. I mean, everybody's hot right now.
Yeah.
Go and get your Lions. So.
All right. So the largest margin of victory, speaking of the Lions, this week we had I Fucks Your Mum over Captain Cannabis by 46.84. Not the biggest we've seen.
No, it was pretty tight, but there was a lot of blowouts. This is what I would consider a blowout. There was a lot of like 45-point games that were
some 60s.
Yeah.
So not the worst, but still.
But this
biggest
week,
for
this week it seemed like there was a lot of 40s. So
Yeah,
45,
yeah.
I'm surprised that was the biggest.
But it was more like 20s and 30s.
20s and 30s.
Yeah. So our closest matchup was G-Men's Crusaders over the Auto Draftees by 4.86 points, with an honorable mention to Catch This Fade over Steal Your Face Mask by 5.5 points.
Damn, awesome.
Yeah, those ones really came down to
You know,
the wire.
the G-Men's Crusaders one's crazy though, because the Chase Brown touchdown, like if he slid down, he could have just slid down like people are just seeming to do. It's not.
Yeah.
It's happening so much this season. Like it happened to the Falcons this week, as we heard in the interview with Jay. Pascal mentioned that. And it happened with the Giants. Singletary did it in like week 3. It's annoying to see.
And then Isaac Guerrero did it.
Yep, Guerrero did it.
Yeah.
So that could have won the week. That would have won the week for Frank. So that was really just
It's
a lot closer than it looks.
So then we've got Give Them Their Flowers 2. I Fucks Your Mom with 160.16, eking out the Milfuckers by 0.26 points.
Damn, 3 more yards for
3 more yards.
3 more rush yards for Kirk Cousins would have done it.
Yep. Oh man, it's rough.
Shit.
But kudos to I Fucks Your Mom. And our wet fart of the week goes to our very own East Coast Virus.
Hey, all right.
Take a bow.
I'm a two-timer.
Two-time
Two-time wet fart.
Yeah.
Thanks
congrats.
to Pascal, I'm not a 4-timer.
Once again, you are under the 100-point mark this week. The only one under 100 points.
Yeah, I mean,
kudos.
Thank you.
It takes skill to be that bad.
Yeah, I thought it was whoever. It's like I thought it was like bocce, like whoever could get closest to the 100 mark.
No, you were wrong. You were wrong.
All right, it won't happen again.
I doubt that.
Oh man, I hate it, but I love it, and I think there's a song that we should make called "I Hate It, But I Love It."
Well, in the meantime, how about we play this song?
There's a lot more energy in that song.
Oh yeah. Speaking of energy, mints from Trader Joe's.
Mints from Trader Joe's, brought to you by Trader Joe's Mints, a eucalyptus flavor.
It's actually green tea.
Oh, it's green tea. I
Yes.
was mistaking it for eucalyptus because it just tastes like dirt plant.
Oh, yum.
But it's good.
I love
kinda
dirt
like
plants.
dirt plant with
As
a little
opposed
sugar.
to
What?
air plants or water plants.
Water plants.
Yes.
That sounds good. Definitely sounds like a scent of like a Glade or some sort of air freshener. Air plants. All right. So for the keeper alert this week, we still have some lingering injuries from earlier in the season. Puka Nacua still out. Isaiah Pacheco still out. Jonathan Taylor still out. Nico Collins and Devon Achane. Collins is on IR. Achane may come back this week. It was a concussion.
Yeah, he
so
was on bye, so he should be back.
We'll see what happens with it. James Cook didn't play Monday night. He was questionable all week.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
He had an injury. Trying to think of what it was, dude, because
I didn't have him on the injury report from the week before, so
he was listed as questionable like last week Tuesday and on.
Okay.
And he missed all practice all week.
So it happened in practice.
But limited on Saturday. I think it was from the previous game at the end of the game. So, yeah, it's a big deal. So James Cook, certainly someone who is going to be needed and is a great keeper. I think he's like the number 6 on the season right now. Some other injuries that we have from this week, not before this week, but from this week, we have Alvin Kamara, who actually popped up on the injury report, but I think we could just chalk this one up to him playing on Thursday night. He faces, I forgot who he faces on Thursday night, but he's playing Thursday night, so they had a practice run through yesterday, and he was deemed questionable, so Alvin Kamara, will keep an eye on him. Another injury, Rashad White. He was deemed questionable and then was deemed out for this week.
He ended up, he was doubtful after Friday's practice. I think he missed Thursday and Friday. So yeah, he just progressed, got worse, and then missed the game.
Yeah, we'll see if he comes back.
I kind of hope he doesn't. It's much easier just relying on Bucky Irving and not having to deal with him. But that makes, now with Sean Tucker, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. And then on top of that, we have benched keepers this week. None of them, unless they were on bye or injured. Nobody benched a healthy keeper this week.
Well,
actually, I lied.
Mark Andrews.
Was benched. Yeah,
your keeper benched on someone else's team.
Yeah. So Jay, that brings to the next tab of traded keepers. We actually had our first trade of the season this year. We'll get into the details in just a few. But Dalton Kincaid, tight end for the Bills, traded to the East Coast Virus, and Mark Andrews of the Baltimore Ravens traded to the Boston Bulldogs. Pretty interesting trade. I mean, the value certainly goes to Dalton Kincaid for a longer tenure, so future keeper value goes there, but it looks like Mark Andrews outperformed him this week. They both look good though, so looking very interesting there. We'll keep tabs on the trade all season and kind of any other trades that go through, obviously. Players that were on bye this week, we had Kyron Williams, we had Raheem Mostert, we had Devon Achane. Even though he was injured, he probably would have come back by now.
Probably.
Okay, so that's good, at least for future value. Keeper of the week, Brock Purdy, 24.1 points on Scott's bench. So,
sorry, Scott.
Kudos.
But I guess everyone had the same thought.
We all recommended.
In my defense, I did tell him that I know nothing about fantasy, so whatever I say, the opposite is probably true. And he didn't listen, so he listened to the wrong advice of mine.
Well, if you don't know a lot about fantasy, maybe you should talk about the winners in the keepers section.
Okay, I'm down with that. This week, our first winner is Boston Bulldog.
Winner!
Breece Hall got 21.9 points as compared to 14.7 expected. And Dalton Kincaid, who was traded to East Coast Virus, got 11.1 points compared to 9 points expected, for a total of 9.3 over expectation. Then we have the Milfuckers with
winner
Brock Purdy scoring 24.1 compared to 18.3. Drake London scoring 19.4 compared to 15.7 for 9.5 over expectation.
Nice.
We've got Salute Your Short Fellows.
Winner.
With CJ Stroud scoring 18.4 compared to 17.7. And George Kittle scoring 22.8 compared to 11.7 for 11.8 over expected. We have I Fucks Your Mom.
Winner.
With Deebo Samuel with 20.7 over 13.9 expected, and Zay Flowers with 22.4 over 13.4 expected for 15.9 over expectation.
Ooh.
Then we have Catch This Fade.
Winner.
James Cook was injured and got nothing. Nico Collins is on IR and got nothing for nothing over expected.
Winner.
Then we've got G-Men's Crusaders. Winner! All right. With Raheem Mostert on bye, getting no points. And Sam Laporta getting 12.2 over 10.4 expected for 1.9 over expectation.
Nice, guys. That's good. So I guess we talked about the winners. Let's jump right into the losers. We start with Punks and Drublick.
You loser.
Punks and Drublick had Rashad White, who was out with injury, and Devon Achane, who was out with injury bye. Double whammy. So 0 points over expected. Captain Cannabis.
You loser.
had Puka Nacua, who was out with injury, so 0 points over expected. Next, we had East Coast Virus.
Ya loser.
It feels that way with Kyler Murray with 11.96, 4 under his expected value, and Mark Andrews with 15.6, 9.5 points over his expected value, but he traded him to Boston Bulldogs. So his value falls to 5 points over. Actually, it was 3 points under because Kincaid performed with a +2. Moving along, the auto draftees.
Ya loser.
The auto draftees came in with Alvin Kamara scoring 17.4, which is 1 point over his expected value, but don't forget about the questionable tag. And we also have DJ Moore with 6 points, 7.5 under his expected value, leaving Frank with 6.5 points under expected value. Then we've got Steal Your Face Mask.
Ya loser.
Steal Your Face Mask had Jonathan Taylor out with injury and Kyron Williams on a bye with 0 points over expected value. And last but not least, who's in last place?
Me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so not least, we have Angry.
Ya loser.
With Brandon Ayuk putting up only 5 points, 7 points, 7.5 points under his expected value, and Isaiah Pacheco out with injury. I am great. Finishes the week with 7.5 under his expected value.
Well, that was underwhelming.
Yeah, it was. It was very underwhelming. A lot of players out, keeper-wise, so goes to show you that it's not that impactful as much as we expected.
My top 4 players, is that right? No, 4 out of my top 6 players are back from bye, and I don't have to worry about that the rest of the year.
Let's hype Pascal up real quick.
CD goes on bye this week.
Oh shit, you lose CD, but who you got back?
I mean, I got Demario Douglas, who's gonna pop off with Drake May.
Oh,
Hey, I got Jalen Waddle, who still doesn't have Tua. Oh, I got Devontae Smith with the Eagles, who look booty. Hey,
crazy! Remember, we're hyping Pascal up. We don't believe in any of these players. I love Devontae Smith. I hate the Eagles. Obviously, we don't have to talk about that. Let's go on to our next segment. This is 3 and Out, where we get into the trade room, where we talk about who we will trade away, trade for, straight drop. Let's start with our trade away candidates for the week. Pascal?
So my first trade away candidate is not someone to trade away because they aren't putting up points.
Okay.
I think that Sean should trade away Josh Allen.
He needs to get some serious roster help.
You can only
from that
start
trade.
one quarterback a week, and Josh Allen was the league leader for quarterbacks last year. Baker Mayfield is putting up points, and he's the better start most weeks anyway. So why not take a risk, sell the big name, try to get a big name back
You'll get paid. You can get
return.
a running back and receiver.
I'm looking
for that.
at the auto draftees who have Dak Prescott as their quarterback, who is not having a good year. You try to trade Josh Allen to someone like the auto draftees who needs a quarterback.
It's a good look.
And you might be able to get back a starter at running back or wide receiver. So that's my first trade away candidate.
Okay. I'll throw in my first trade away candidate, and that is Mark Andrews. Trade him away. Guess what, guys? Mark Andrews is still who he thought he was, or still who we thought he was. He's still good. Let's not forget, like, dropping Mark Andrews at this point is not a viable action. He did have 2 gooses right in the middle of the 6 weeks that we've seen so far, but he did score a late touchdown in this game. His value still is not that of Isaiah Likely, in my opinion. I think Isaiah Likely is the better tight end. He's on the field more. He's running more routes. Target-wise, he might not get as many fantasy points certain weeks, but I think by the end of the season, we're going to know who the tight end 1 is in the Baltimore room.
And I will say that any type of an injury to to Derrick Henry, and all of a sudden there's a lot more value in the passing game.
That's very true.
Sure, they're running the ball all over everyone right now, but that can change in an instant. So I would say Mark Andrews has some value, and anyone who picks him up would be getting him for somewhat cheap, but could have definitely some massive value later in the season.
Yeah, you want to trade Mark Andrews away for somebody else who isn't performing, like, say, Dalton Kincaid, something like that. So,
something like that, sure. My next trade away candidate is Josh Downs.
ooh, he's looking good, man.
He is looking good. However, Anthony Richardson is coming back, which is not very good for his production. There's going to be volatility to all of the receivers, and right now you could be selling high. He's definitely a guy who could keep producing with Anthony Richardson. You never know.
That's true.
But like I said, there's going to be volatility, and you could probably get back a top tier player for him.
So I assume you would also put Michael Pittman in that conversation of trade away if you can. I mean, you're not going to get as much. You're going to get cheaper value.
The thing about Josh Downs is that he has a lot of keeper value, right?
That's true.
So he really has this massive value right now. You could trade him away probably for a first rounder if the person knows what they're getting, or maybe more like a second rounder. But nonetheless, like he should have a lot of value right now.
He's playing awesome. He has overtaken that wide receiver room and is the number one option, as much as I hate to see it.
Yeah.
My last trade away target is an obvious one. We've already kind of mentioned this. Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is still going to be amazing. He's still going to be a great player, but there's just not going to be as much pie on his plate. You know what I mean? He's just not, like you said, going to get 22, 21 targets a game. If anything, he'll get 12 on a good week because Devontae Adams, as long as he's out there healthy, you know.
It's really funny that you mentioned Garrett Wilson as your trade away target, and we'll talk about that in about 2 segments.
Okay.
All right. So
shit. Okay. I see where we're at.
My trade for target, my first one is Tyler Algier. So getting good production, even with Bijan, and sometimes at the expense of Bijan, and he's sitting on Aggie's bench. Obviously, Aggie didn't need him this week, but it looks like the Falcons are content to giving both of them a lot of time in the backfield, which means that he's going to keep putting up numbers. And even when Bijan is not getting carries, Algier still is. So they might think that he's the more productive back. So I think that he's someone that you might want to look at if you're looking for running back help.
Nice. That's a good pick. My trade for is Dalton Kincaid, just so I could rub it in a little more. I know Mark Andrews outperformed him, but dude, the value on the keeper level is a whole nother thing. Dalton Kincaid is the number one target in the Buffalo Bills room. They're not performing every week as their potential says they could.
And supposedly the Paglias, whoever owns the Bills, they spent all their money on this new stadium that's coming. So they don't have enough money to sign any big name free agents. So they're likely not getting help anytime soon.
Good. Keep Kincaid for the long term. That's who I trade for, and I did. Go ahead.
So my next trade for is Wan'Dale Robinson.
Nice. Target monster.
Target monster. He's been not doing as well since Malik is out. And so he seems to produce better with Malik Neighbors in the lineup. Malik is coming back from injury. Not sure if Billy really trusts his production, so he might be available. So anyone who's looking for wide receiver help, this is a guy that you might be able to get Billy to part with.
Nice. It's a good one. And my last trade for candidate would be none other than George Pickens. He's been underperforming into last season.
And he's a basket
case. He is kind of crazy. He did he had like a curse words on his eye black 2 weeks ago. We thought he might get suspended. But dude, if you feed that dude targets, he could put up 40-point games. He's got that monster capability.
Especially if Russell Wilson is going to be starting. Part of the problem is that Justin Fields is more of a running back than a quarterback.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is the opposite. And so he could definitely, and Russell Wilson, let's give him his at least whatever due he deserves. He played well for the Broncos in the second half of the season last year. So there's a very good chance that he can put up legitimate numbers.
There's also a very good chance that in 3 weeks they're going to pivot back to Justin Fields. I see it happening.
There is a very good chance. You know the funny thing? I believe that the Justin Fields trade, it goes from a 6th round pick to a 2nd round pick if Justin Fields plays like more than like 40% of the snaps or something like that.
That's
so
rough.
they have a vested interest in not playing him.
I didn't know that. We'll revisit this Pittsburgh team in just a moment as well.
Yeah. So my straight drops. My first one is Cordero Patterson. You're just looking at minimal production within an okay offense with 3 running backs if you include Justin Fields. I just don't see him getting a lot of time ahead of Najee and Jaylen Warren and Justin Fields.
So 4 running backs in
Right?
that case. He'd be the 4, yeah.
Oh, right. So
He does line up in the slot once in a blue moon, but they're not really.
I just don't think he's
doing that
doing
for
too
him.
much good. You might be better off getting a handcuff or maybe even like a second quarterback or something.
Word. My straight drop would start with Jake Moody. Jake Moody got a high ankle sprain. He's a great kicker for the 49ers, but why are you rostering him? He's done pretty much for the year.
And even if he does come back, will he be like he
Like,
might
you
not
don't
be
need
that
to-
effective?
Don't invest.
Ankle injury.
Don't waste bench space on a kicker who's out for more than 2 weeks. Like it's not smart. Even if you have a million IR spots, I guess you could sneak him into your IR if you do, but
Yeah.
it's really not worth keeping. So drop him if you got him.
So my second straight drop is Jamal Williams. So he's done nothing since week 1. Now that Kamara's questionable, maybe I'll be proven wrong this week, but definitely if he does nothing this week, just drop him.
Yeah.
He's not giving you any real value.
He's when you're looking through the nothingness of what running backs are available during waivers and free agency, you should see his name there. And my final straight drop would be Jerome Ford. It's time, my friend. Jerome Ford is done. Deontay Foreman, once again, eating into that volume that Jerome Ford is only valuable if he gets all of it. Nick Chubb coming back, another dagger to Jerome Ford owners. Drop him for somebody who's up and coming because you'll be much better off.
Yeah,
and then,
or try to trade him to Aggie to keep as a handcuff for Chubb.
That's true. That's a good move as well. And then just to give you real quick, Jay gave us a couple picks himself before we get into the trading block. It looks like Jay's trade for would be Derrick Henry. He's going to cost way too much.
Yeah.
And Babalu's not letting go of his favorite player. But you could try.
That'd be a good trade away for Baba.
Yeah. Well, he can get a lot for him.
Yeah.
Trade away for Jay would be Gabe Davis, who's on Jay's team. It's funny that Jay wants.
So is he saying he's putting him in the trading block?
Yeah, essentially.
He did mention that on the call. Didn't
Yeah. He put a couple guys in there, but dude, Gabe Davis is trash. He was my straight drop last week. He put up 21 points this week. Let's see the next time he puts up
in
more
true
than 10.
Gabe Davis fashion, he will only put up big numbers when you have him on your bench.
He's like such an emergency, like break glass for
and
emergency.
he dropped an easy touchdown catch in the end zone too.
Oh, I'm glad he didn't catch it because I love when he scores 30 and everybody gets all hyped about, oh, Gabe Davis, he sucks.
So I guess we're at the trading block now, huh?
Well, actually, Jay also gave a straight drop, which he wrote Tucker. So I'm assuming he's talking about Tucker Kraft, the Green Bay tight end who had the top scorer 2 weeks previous.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't do that well this week, and maybe it's because Dobbs and Watson. Dobbs and Watson came back,
so maybe that's why he's the drop. Because
I assume that's why.
Yeah, but Jaden Reed is hurt, so we'll see how long he's out for.
Yeah, it didn't look that bad, but we'll see. He did come back a little bit, so. Let's run to the trading block, guys. Where do you want to start?
So I'll talk about a trade that I declined that I mentioned in the chat. It was between me and Billy.
Okay.
He offered Garrett Wilson and Cortland Sutton for CeeDee Lamb and Trey Sermon. And
wow. Okay.
on its face, it's an okay trade. I think that CD has more value throughout the rest of the season, just because I'm worried about Aaron Rodgers.
It's a big trade.
Yeah, I'm worried about Aaron Rodgers' ability to stay healthy, and especially now with Devontae, you couple that injury risk with having another mouth to feed. A receiver who's probably better than Garrett Wilson at this point, although you could argue they're 1A and 1B. But it makes it tough to see a lot of value for him throughout the entirety of the season. Whereas I have faith that Dak and CD are going to figure it out. And even while the Cowboys are playing badly, CD's still putting up 16 points.
Yeah.
So it's
CD's
if he's
first
putting
pick.
if he's putting up 16 points when they're doing badly, when they get things figured out, then he's going to be back to putting up 25, 30 points. So what I have done is I've countered. Now, FYI to everyone in the chat, when you push the counter button,
it declines.
It declines automatically.
Yeah.
It doesn't let you figure it out. And
I
then
usually
decide.
look at the team before I.
So I automatically declined that trade when I didn't really want to. Kind of wanted to keep it open in case my mind changed. But so I countered the offer, and now I have a trade on the books with Billy for CD and Trey Sermon for Garrett Wilson and Tank Bigsby, because I don't need another wide receiver.
Yeah,
I've got plenty of wideouts. I do need another running back, and I have seller's remorse for getting rid of Bigsby weeks ago, and so I want him back. And so to me that would be a more fair trade considering the risk to Garrett Wilson.
It turns CeeDee Lamb into Garrett Wilson basically, and that's pretty crazy. And then Billy's gonna get to reinforce Jonathan Taylor with Trey Sermon.
Right, with Trey Sermon.
But it didn't even look like Trey Sermon was the dog this week. It was the other dude. What's his name?
Tyler
Goodson.
Goodson. Yeah. So I don't know.
But
we'll see.
I mean, hey, that might be worth doing. But yeah, I could see your hesitation. Even though you offered that, I could see Billy's hesitation in taking that. It's just kind of difficult.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. There's so much uncertainty with Garrett Wilson with the Devontae trade. And then
that's a big
Bigsby,
deal.
Listen, if he had put up 20 again, then this would have been no way would this be worth it for him. But Tank Bigsby, in the week that Travis Etienne goes down, Tank Bigsby only puts up 3 points.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's what makes it a worthwhile trade for both of us, is that there's a lot of uncertainty. Neither of us really knows which one of us is getting the better trade. And that's what makes it a good trade.
I'm glad that you guys are trying to make something work by countering and seeing if something can work. This week I've gone through a lot of trade discussion. I actually made a trade finally. We'll get into that in a sec. I just want to bring up something. I was surprised yesterday by this trade. I was offered a trade from Marv. And the trade from Marv was he wanted Isaiah Likely and Jackson Smith-Njigba, and he was giving Justin Fields and George Pickens.
Oh, wow.
Now, yeah, that's a big deal because George Pickens, he's not doing very well, but he's a great receiver. He's great.
Here's the thing.
He's going to do great
Pickens
because of Russ.
Is going down the same route that Antonio Brown went down, that Chase Claypool went down, that someone else went down, another Pittsburgh receiver. These malcontent receivers who get themselves traded out of town. So there's a chance that you could see George Pickens in another jersey this season.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if you traded for George Pickens and then he gets traded to, I don't know, Kansas City?
Yeah.
Right? That would be huge.
I mean, I actually, to be honest with you, I still have this trade on my books. Usually Marv will pull the trade, if you don't take it soon enough, he doesn't leave it there for a day.
No, that's smart.
So I considered it to the point where I almost did accept. Obviously, the news with Russell Wilson starting this week, most likely, that kind of gets kind of muddied, but it brings Pickens' immediate value up, I think. So, but Justin Fields' value, I mean, the reason I was like considering doing this trade, like, all right, JSN for George Pickens. JSN could be a great rest of season receiver. He's volatile, though. There's weeks where he has 2 or 3 targets.
I'm holding out that DK Metcalf is a trade candidate before the trading deadline this year.
Yeah, that would be great.
Well, I mean, if they, like, he seems really disgruntled on that team.
Yeah.
They have JSN. They have Lockett. And then I think that they drafted someone in, like, the middle rounds that could be pretty good.
Yeah, I forgot the name.
And so that's a lot of wide receivers. They have a middle of the road quarterback. They should be looking to draft a quarterback at some point soon, which means a mini rebuild. It's great to get a first round pick for DK if you can. Second round pick maybe because he needs a new contract.
That's true.
But I'm hoping the Patriots get DK. That's maybe why he's on the top of my mind, but if that happens, then JSN rockets up in value real quick.
Well, I mean, JSN, he's got potential. Isaiah Likely certainly has potential as well. So, as much as I would like to say yes to this offer, I'm gonna live reject it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Live happenings on the pod.
I live rejected it.
But
and
it's not live because people won't hear this until
after
but
it's live.
it.
It's live for you and I. And I'm kind of like mad that I just did that. That wasn't the plan. But it puts me in a little bit of a conundrum, and I got rid of one piece of the Ravens tight end room with Mark Andrews. I did say I would like to depart with both of them, and Likely still is on the board. Real quick, we'll just go into the trade that we actually had this week between Jay and I, where I have to look it up. Like, obviously, I know who it is. So I traded away Mark Andrews and DeAndre Swift. Jay needed a running back really bad. I have tons of running backs. I have volume guys. A couple of them are injured. I got Ramondre and Devin Singletary, but I have J.K. Dobbins. I have Kenneth Walker. And
I'm
then
thinking about putting a trade package for Ramondre.
Yeah, I mean, and dude, I even have Alexander Madison, who also is now the starting running back of that team. And then the impending return of CEH. So I still, without Swift, I had too many running backs. Jay needed a running back. We talked a little bit. He offered me Conklin and Olave. I first wanted Mooney, which would have been nice, but when he countered with Olave, because I offered somebody for, I don't remember exactly.
He countered with Olave.
He countered with Olave
move.
Slick, if he could tell the future.
No, but I mean, either way, it ended up being a slick move.
Because
it wasn't the original.
But let's be fair. We still have a good most of the season left to play, and I think Olave is a number one. All right, so like DeAndre Swift started the season off 3 weeks with like 4 points. He was terrible. He came back with a 30, a 20 this week, like a 25. He's doing well. I want to see him do well. I have a share of him in another league.
You're lucky Devontae didn't go to New Orleans.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's so true. I was looking at that. But anyways, long story short, we basically decided, all right, he said Olave and Tyler Conklin for Mark Andrews and DeAndre Swift. And I was like, yo, Olave and Kincaid for Mark Andrews and DeAndre
nice.
Swift.
Playing off of his Jets fandom.
Yeah, and the fact that he has a premier tight end, which was his keeper. So I started with that. I'm like, why don't we go keeper for keeper and Swift and this dude. And
what round was Swift?
What round was Swift?
6th?
Yeah, I think I got him in like maybe the 5th, 6th, or 7th, something like that. But it's great because both of our tight ends I kept for Andrews for a 9th. So next year, if he wants to keep him, he's an 8th. Probably not going to happen.
Right.
Kincaid he kept for a 10th, So next year I get to
Okay.
keep him for a ninth.
Okay.
So,
So
I
you,
could
don't, so you can fully punt tight end next year.
exactly,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
could even get rid of Likely with the other trade. That's why I considered it because I'm like I don't really need him. He's a good piece, but
Right.
and
And he's a good one to trade for someone who wants a keeper.
that's a very true point too.
Yeah.
So we made this trade, and obviously I lost it this week on both ends. Mark Andrews put up like 15 and change, DeAndre Swift 25 or so, and then
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
or 21 or something like that. And then Olave put up negative 0.5, but he got the game's first target, which was, enticing.
Yeah.
was
No,
really
I mean,
upset
that's
with-
good. Spencer Rattler looks like he can play.
Yep, he could sling it, and he
He's not
Said-
scared to throw that ball. That's for sure.
he said something about Olave. He said that he's like otherworldly. He's never seen anybody play like him, so
Word.
like he's gonna feed him.
Yeah, I'm
So-
sure. I'm sure.
So the two guys that I got from Jay are monumentally awesome. And guess what? The kicker of this trade is, right? Colin texted me. He's like, "Yo, I think you lost that trade, right?" I'm gonna read you this text. It's so good.
So you'll read Collins, but you won't read Marvellis.
Yeah,
I heard you.
because because I like to show some respect, and Colin doesn't mind that. Basically, he's like, "Dude, I think you lost that trade." I was like, "It's pretty even, but think about it." I'm like, keeper for keeper, Kincaid has a better chance of being relevant next year as a keeper. I get rid of one of the Baltimore tight ends, the lesser one, and then I add a receiver that wasn't looking good with Carr, but may become hot with Spencer Rattler with opportunity, right? And then I was like, oh, also the icing on the cake, and I haven't even mentioned this to Jay yet. I played Jay in week 7. Swift is on bye in week 7.
Oh,
So
burn.
that's what put me over the edge with like, all right, I'm not going to change this to
But
Ramondre or someone else.
This is week 7, and Olave's gonna miss.
Yeah,
some
he's gonna miss too.
concussions.
Yeah. So it fired back, but
It
it's
was
all good.
forethought, but yeah,
It's all good. I
Didn't
mean,
work out.
it's not a big deal. I couldn't have played Swift. I can't play Olave. We got bench players to go through. So that trade was pretty cool. And then I guess some other players that are on the trade block. Jay has Keenan Allen and Gabe Davis. You got anyone else that has been mentioned in players?
Yeah, so I mean, as you can see, like CD and Garrett Wilson are available,
Yeah.
right? I put forth a trade for involving CD, and Billy put forth a trade involving Garrett Wilson, so you can count both of them on the trading block.
I'll put Michael Pittman and Calvin Ridley as a package in there. So I'll take someone like
I'll give you a bag of chips for the two of them.
or I can I'll go for Trey Tucker for Michael Pittman and Calvin Ridley. So you guys could have fun with that.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, anyone is available.
yeah. It looks like people are willing to trade, so keep your eyes out.
Keep your eyes peeled. I don't know exactly what that means. Like, how do you peel your eyes?
Like open them, I guess.
Oh, like
Unpeel the
pulling
eyelid.
your eyelids open?
Unpeel the eyelid.
That's only in like 1950s cartoons, so I guess that's where that came from. All right, guys, moving along to
Torture videos.
torture videos. No, that's the wrong podcast. Oh, the eyelids.
The eyelid.
I was ready to go on to freshman football.
Yeah, let's do it.
So Pascal, run down the rookies of the week and the top
So
rookies.
this week we had Marvin Harrison with 0 points because he went out with a concussion early. Malik Neighbors missed the second week in a row with his concussion. Xavier Worthy was on bye. So that's 0 points for the first 3. Then we've got Keon Coleman, who put up a measly 5.6. We've got
It proved to pay though.
Rome Adunze with 6 points. Lad McConkey with 8.3. Jaden Daniels with 20.96.
All right, Jaden.
Trey Benson with 2.6. Blake Corum with a goose egg.
Goose.
Brian Thomas with 5.7.
Ooh,
Caleb Williams with 28.64.
damn.
Brock Bowers with 16.1.
He's a killer.
And I've added 2 more players to the list this week. I've added Jordan Whittington and Drake May. Jordan Whittington had 15.9 last week and 12.2 the week before and got a shout out on the pod last week, so it makes sense to have him on the list.
This week he was on Bye.
This week, yes, In Sync, or is that the other one?
No, it's a reggae song that you probably don't know.
Oh, okay, my bad. And then Drake May started for the Patriots, putting up 19.52 despite 3 turnovers. So I'm looking for him to put up some numbers this season.
What do you do? Get like a 10-point handicap?
I mean, he was playing the 3rd best defense in the league, so I think that looking pretty good for my guy.
Yeah, guy?
Yeah, so the top 3 scores of the week were Caleb Williams with 28.64, Jaden Daniels with 20.96, and my boy Drake May with 19.52.
Ooh, he cut the top 3?
Yes,
Nice.
he did.
Hey, all right. Well, we're going to shine the spotlight on an 8.3 scorer this week, and the spotlight goes to Lad McConkey. It's actually
Hi, laddie.
his name is actually Andrew Ladd McConkey, so he really does it for the spotlight.
Andrew Ladd McConkey.
Andrew Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey stands at 6 foot 185 pounds, born in Chatsworth, Georgia. I thought that was gonna say like Cork, Ireland.
Chatsworth Island.
Born in Chatsworth, Georgia. Went to North Merity High School. He went to college in Georgia from 2020 to 2023. Won the Werfel Award. If I'm saying that around.
Is that the Andrew Werfel?
The Werfel, which is the best. It combines exemplary community service with athletic and academic achievement. So somebody who's firing on all cylinders.
Oh, so he's a good guy.
He's a good guy, and he
Well
is a
done,
smart
lad.
guy. And
Well done, laddie.
He gets it done, lad. So 2-time national championship, 2-time national champion, 2021 and 22 with Georgia. And then he was the second team All SEC in 2022. The Chargers drafted him 2nd round, 34th overall, and Captain Cannabis drafted him. We forgot to put the information in, but he got drafted. We'll have that for you in a moment. For his NFL stats, he's played 5 games. He has 28 targets, 18 catches, 194 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He was drafted at 85, which makes that the 7th round, I believe. So yeah, pretty cool. Ladd McConkey. Hopefully he starts picking up the pace because he is one of those slow starting rookies that we kind of expected this from him, but he did have an opportunity to kind of start off lights out with a Chargers wide receiver room that was pretty empty. So hopefully the rest of the season we have good things to say about him. And that's it. Ladd. So we're going to move along to the Market Watch. The Market Watch will feature a couple players, and we'll let you know where they're going for the rest of the season, where they're headed.
So for my Market Watch, my first is a duo.
A duo?
Yes. Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers is on my list too.
Huh.
I wonder why.
Is it because we both put the same guy?
Oh yeah, we weren't together when we did that. But is your stock?
My stock is going up.
Oh, mine's going up too. Hey, all right.
Who would have thunk it?
Man, it sounds like we were thinking.
Yeah, they both definitely should get upticks in their fantasy points. I don't see how. The only thing that's bad for A-Rod is that he looks old. Looks like every time he gets hit, it hurts.
He looks
so
miserable.
I don't know if he's gonna last the whole season. Plus, they're losing. I don't know if this is gonna stop them from losing. It seems like their problems.
You'd like to hope.
Yeah, I would not like to hope at all.
That they don't stop losing?
Yeah, I don't. I hope that they continue losing.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they you've got to think both their stocks are up.
All right, nice. I'm gonna mention another player from that team, Alan Lazard, and his stock is going down.
Down.
Alan Lazard taking a huge hit. The very occasional targets he sees that usually are in the red zone are going to trickle away. Davante Adams on one side, Garrett Wilson on the other. You might see him out there just because he's buddy with good old Rodgers, but He could be the coffee guy on the sideline as far as I'm concerned. I think the rest of the season, you might want to trade him away while you got him. I think he's coming off another touchdown. Yeah, oh yeah, he had that Hail Mary catch, which is awesome. Trade him away.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got Rodgers throwing the ball 30 times in a game, he's throwing 15 times to Devontae, 15 times to Garrett.
And one to Conklin.
Maybe 10 to Garrett and 5 to Conklin, right?
Yeah. And then Breece has to get
you gotta have
3 or
Breece,
4.
right?
Yeah.
So
and Braylon,
right, that's a lot of mouths to feed.
Too many.
That makes sense. That's why I have Garrett Wilson on my market watch, and his stock is volatile.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going. I don't know if it's going up. I don't know if it's going down.
His ceiling has shrunk.
I mean, I don't know. I think that the entire spectrum is at play. He could have a much higher ceiling. He could have a much lower floor. Like we were just talking about, there are so many mouths to feed now.
Yeah.
That because Allen Lazard isn't going to get 0 targets.
He'll
right?
get like 1 or 2 a week.
No, I mean, I bet it's more likely that everyone gets like 6 targets.
Yuck.
Yeah.
That takes the ceiling off of everyone.
Right. But I don't know. We don't know how this is going to turn out. Rarely do we have 2 top 10 wide receivers on the same team like this.
Yeah.
With a Hall of Fame quarterback. So it'll be interesting.
Nice. I wanted to highlight Travis Etienne, the scampering running back down there in Jacksonville. Jacksonville's starting off pretty bad, but I have good news for Etienne owners. I'm lying. His stock is going down. He's not looking good. He's not looking healthy. And I don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the season, but if it stays like this, you might want to try to trade him after a touchdown.
I'm going to have to disagree with you.
Ooh, okay.
I think that his stock is actually up. So simply because he got hurt in this game,
okay,
Tank Bigsby was completely ineffective after he went out.
What happened last week, though?
Tank Bigsby was the better performer. But if Tank Bigsby can't perform without Etienne, then that shows that Etienne is valuable. And they need him to be the starter and for Tank to be the backup.
I agree completely with what you're saying, but you drafted Travis Etienne to be a starter and a reasonable workhorse, right? So here's the thing with that. If you have last week's data showing that they're a split, then you drafted Etienne not to be a committee back.
I just think that
at best he's a committee back.
I just think that Etienne's stock was down after last week's game, but now it's back up after getting injured this week.
We'll have to prove it with the facts in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Well, when he comes back from injury, we'll see what happens.
If Bigsby plays well while he's gone, then his stock is back down again.
Do you have other players to cover?
No, that's it.
All right, I've got a couple more. I've got Bucky Irving, and his stock is unfortunately going up, and he's on Pascal's team. Hey. It's unfortunate for Pascal because Rachaad White will still be out there and still be needed as long as he is healthy. Bucky Irving looks like the better back. He's getting a lot of opportunity. It's a very similar situation to the whole Tank Bigsby thing, especially because both of the starters are injured after ceding a lot of carries to both, Bigsby and Bucky. Another player I want to highlight is Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce, the 70-yard touchdown man, the 21 points out of nowhere in the fourth quarter guy.
Where he's at.
His stock, he did goose this week, but keep in mind, this is stock rising or falling, and you can't go too much further down from 0, but his stock is falling. His stock is falling down like a tree in the wilderness. I would straight drop him if I had him. Think about this. Anthony Richardson's coming back. Alec Pierce is a once in every 4 weeks
so
touchdown
hard to
guy.
Drop a guy like that.
It is so hard, but it's so easy if you just do it.
Because the way fantasy works is that you drop him and then he becomes consistent.
Yeah, and then never. You drop him and then he has a
That's
blow
how it
up
works
week.
for me.
look, you drop him, he has a 20-plus point week. The next week, somebody picks him up and lives with that shit on their roster for the rest of the season. That's what happens.
Probably.
That's the Gabe Davis treatment.
Probably.
And then last but not least, we will cover Evan Ingram, whose stock is exploding through the roof. This dude came back from injury and commanded all the targets. I don't know how it's looking for all the other Jacksonville receivers because Evan Ingram lit it up this week without a touchdown, still put up a
he
big
dropped
number.
a touchdown, another one that was in his hands.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm starting to believe the whole Trevor Lawrence is actually pretty good, but his guys keep dropping the ball narrative.
Yeah.
It might be true.
I mean, this doesn't look good for Brian Thomas, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis. Nothing looks good for Gabe Davis.
No, definitely.
But yeah, big time up. And then Jay highlighted Tyrone Tracy, the Giants running back, and he's highlighting him as his stock going up. Now
Yeah, he's a starter.
That certainly makes sense
With
that he's a
Singletary
starter.
out.
But Singletary should be back probably this week. And with that being the case, your
And-
stock is probably not going to go up from where he was.
Actually, no, I'm wrong. He did not play well. He had I think 15 carries for 57 yards and 5 catches for another 30 yards. So because it's PPR, he was able to put up significant numbers.
Yeah.
But he didn't actually play well. So when
He's-
Singletary comes back, he's probably going to be the starter again.
He's more of a trade away candidate. And then Jay's other
Not after you
highlight.
listen to this pod.
Jay's other highlight is Amari Cooper, who I was looking to trade for a couple weeks ago with Billy. He just had a couple bad weeks, but dude,
I mean,
Deshaun Watson and that offensive
Yeah, the
line,
offense is woof.
they
It's
look
bad.
crappy, dude. So good luck, Aggie, with that Nick Chubb comeback. Hopefully that's what kind of picks the pace back up, and maybe we'll see some Njoku action.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good market. The market is hot. We're getting there. So if you guys would like to move along, then we can carry it. Let's go ahead.
Sly as a fox.
Are you sly as a fox?
I am not. Actually, picking up Christian Watson might have been a sly move on my part.
Yeah.
And I've got first waiver overall this week, which
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure I'm using on Isaac Guerrero.
Oh.
But we'll see. I still have to do some research, but I mean, there's a good chance that Guerrero could be the guy for the rest of the season, and I want in on that.
Damn. Well, I didn't even think about waivers. I might just wait to see who everybody drops. That's always the best thing to do, man. It's like
That's how I got Watson.
that's how Billy got Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, I'm still shocked that whoever dropped Christian Watson, I know that the reports were saying he's probably going to be out for a few weeks, but it's still early.
Who
We're
was
not
it?
even
Was
at
it
the
Sean?
halfway point. I'm not sure.
Or Scott.
No, I'm not sure.
Forgot who
I
had him.
didn't
It
go
was
back
one
and
of
look.
one of those two.
But he got 15 points for me this week, and if Jaden Reed is out, then that just means more targets. He's coming back off his ankle. I'm very excited.
Very nice. I feel sly as a fox for pulling off that trade. I know it doesn't look good so far, but I'm in for the long haul, man.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see it by the end of the year. You might be right, but we'll see.
We will see.
I do want to say that my sly as a fox pick is the man who destroyed Punks and Drublick this week, Boston Bulldogs.
Okay.
For getting that trade through so that it would be active for this week and being the massive winner chicken dinner
That was my call
for this first week.
to push that through.
Yeah, well, either way,
I don't
that
think
was
you
a
realized the
sly
timing.
move, sir. Sly move.
Good job, Jay. Good job. And my sly as a fox pick this week is Pascal for pulling off Polkgate before there were any arguments. So good job at making a really stupid thing happen and then getting it cleaned up before everybody woke up and then before the drama actually hit. So that's my sly as a fox.
Well, I guess
pick
we
for
could
this.
thank my daughter for that because we were up nice and early and I was able to finish breakfast and morning routine and everything by 8 a.m. because that's what happens when you wake up at 6 a.m. So yeah, kudos to Kaiason for making sure we were up early on Sunday.
So Kaio is my sly as a fox. I might bring you
that
back
makes so
up.
much more sense.
I might bring
I
you
should
back
actually
up in another
start
part.
letting her make my fantasy decisions.
We're going to go ahead and skip the game plan this week. Jay didn't give us a Sly as a Fox pick because clearly he doesn't finish the podcast and listen to all the segments, which is all right. It's long. We will move along to the
Parallel universe.
Parallel universe. Okay, guys. In the parallel universe, we're going to take a trip over to the Lion's Den. I got some really awesome information, which I feel so good about because this was a strategy that I played in the draft that has paid off. So I faced Jay's brother, who coincidentally has the same birthday as him 5 years later.
Whoa.
Yeah, his twin, which was born 5 years later. That was funny. Jay, you're funny, man. You're a funny guy. I'm sorry about the Jets loss last night.
We might have to see about getting him a guest spot on here again.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Maybe we could see about a live spot.
Yeah. I'm open to it. You just gotta travel down from where you're at. You know.
Come through, buddy. Come through.
So in Jay's league, actually, his little brother was pulling off the comeback on me. Didn't actually turn out to go to fruition, but I had two players that had 100 combined, 166 return yards, punt and kickoffs.
Wow. And you get points for all those.
You get 10 yards a point, right? So
wow.
So I got 16.6 and I won by 6.
Wow.
So I had Josh Downs who put up 67 return yards and
money
and all of his action, right? All of his receptions and touchdowns and fun stuff. And then my defensive player, my defensive back, Keyshawn Nixon, had no returns all season yet because they all went through the back of the end zone or he called a fair catch. He's punt and kick returner. Dude put up 99 return yards, bro. He had 3 defensive fantasy points and he finished the day with a 12.9, yo.
Wow.
And that's how I pulled it off. And I
Good
feel
deal.
so good about it because that league I always
keeping
lose
you
the close
500,
ones.
buddy.
Yeah, no, actually I'm 4-2 over there.
No, I mean overall.
Oh, overall, yeah.
In the rankings that matter.
It is a big help. I'm 4-2, 3-3, and 2-4, so it's feeling good.
All right.
And then in the family league, funny enough, there's 2 5-1 teams, 2 1-5 teams, 1 4-2, 1 2-4, and the rest of us, all the 6 others, are 3-3. And the freaking points, it's like a 20-point differential.
Wow.
In that
Nice.
league, I do by point instead of head to head. So whoever has more points for. You're higher up.
Yeah, we should talk about that type of scoring at one point where it's like you get I think you get 2 points per week, right? Where one is your head-to-head matchup, and then one
the median.
is the median.
So that's more of like the record,
the record. That's what I mean.
Your record. You play 2 games a week. You play against the whole league median, and you play against the player. That's a pretty good one to get a better, more variety of records. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the way that things go, it's very luck-based in our league. You have to catch people on the right week. And adding in the median just evens out the luck, basically, for everyone.
Yeah, and it'll make some teams better and some teams worse. I know I'll be worse off. Definitely.
I would be better off this week. But no, it would even out because I had some really low scoring weeks also. So I would have gone 0 for 2 on those weeks, you know?
Nice. And for the other parallel universe pick, I have a new league that I found. My little brother actually created last year. I didn't get the name of it. He actually did send it. It's the PW League, the Public Works Department League. I think they play.
Oh, from his job.
No. I think they play on Grand Theft Auto. He has this big online group that they're the Public Works Department. They do all this shit. It's pretty funny. Some of the shit he does. But he has. It was a 16-team league last year. Now it's 14.
Wow.
But what's cool is he made AI images for all the team logos. And there's a format. So the format is a city or town that you've lived in, and
for the name.
Yeah, for the name and a drink. So I have
the Stanford steam.
The Stanford screwdrivers.
Screwdrivers.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys that list next week because I think it's pretty good. There's some really interesting ones and really weird ones.
That's really cool. I like that.
But yeah, I have the
and then
list.
You can
but
switch it up every year, and everyone has a new name every year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool,
So
cool.
it's pretty cool. It's a fun thing to do. I would love to do that in our league just because Aggie's team's the worst.
I mean,
the team's pretty good though.
Definitely attached to my name, but part of me wants to change it because there's so many good names out there.
There is, Let's not all change our names. I mean, we don't want to have a different face.
Right, and then we don't even know who we're playing.
Yeah. Wait, who's Steal Your Butt Mask? What the hell? Oh, that's what Aggie changed his name to. Steal Your Butt Mask.
That would be good.
He played off Billy's name again.
Oh, that would be good. Oh man.
Oh shoot. You got any info on that punter league, or is that kind of punted?
No, it's kind of punted.
That's cool. I mean, we'll still
if
try.
it comes around, like it's just good to know about. I've seen some updates where like they'll show who they're playing this week, but it's not enough information to actually like report on.
Yeah. I see.
But the way that the scores end up is where you might win like 7 to -4, something like that. So,
that's fun.
Yeah.
As like a side league.
Yeah, and it makes you pay attention to football in a different way.
I'm kind of excited to close today, so I'm like rushing to the doghouse. I want to see who Pascal has in it. He's been like hiding his screen, so I have a feeling that it's probably like someone I know or something.
It definitely is someone you know,
or someone that like I live with.
Someone you used to know.
So
Don't sing.
It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah,
I immediately recognized it, and it brought back the sadness.
All right. So you want to go first and for the
yeah,
doghouse?
I'm gonna go first because I have a feeling you put a little time into this, and I put like no time into it because this is how much time I want to put into what I'm about to talk about. The doghouse this week, obviously # change your name. Aggie like is staying there, so like he gets some visitors this week though.
Every week.
# change
Like
your
clockwork.
name. Guess who gets to join Aggie this week?
You?
No, your dumbass and Sean Dennehy.
Mine?
Yeah.
What did I do?
You and Sean Dennehy for Polkgate. And the most ridiculous, no reason to have an argument.
I love Polkgate.
Yeah, it started with the silliness of what Polkgate was, like your mindlessness at that point.
I know, I felt so stupid.
And then Billy jumping the gun on waiting for the amount of votes before anybody even saw that shit. Like I voted after it was already redone.
Yeah.
And I was voting for it to be redone because it was a mistake. But then Sean goes off and leaves the chat and is talking about leaving the league like on some dramatic shit for something. It really is
I feel like he was looking for a reason. I don't think that this is real. I don't think that this is really as big of a deal.
This is the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah,
it seems.
I think so.
But it's all good. We're not gonna sit here and shit on Sean like we did in episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm just kidding. Just 1, 2, and 3. But no, for real. It was dumb, and we're done talking about it.
Until next episode.
Yeah, I hope not. All right. So yeah, who's your doghouse? Who's joining you guys?
All right. So joining us. I've been in the doghouse for a while now. But joining us in the doghouse is you, my friend.
Why is that?
For a few reasons.
Okay, let's hear them. I think I can guess.
Number 1, you scored under 100 yet again this week. The only team to score under 100 while you left 40 winning points on your bench.
Longfellow gave me $5 to pay off whoever wins the 5 and 37 bet.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
Just kidding, that didn't happen. I'd be permanently in the doghouse if that.
2, for a shitty trade,
DeAndre Swift,
and shitty timing of your trade,
great timing,
which helped me lose.
I also lost
you
because
lose.
We both lost because of my trade.
Horrible,
oh, man.
horrible. And then lastly, for taking over a month to get me my $25. I was the first team to have a highest score of the week.
You were the first one who was paid.
And I didn't get paid until a few days ago. Shame on you. Shame, shame. You deserve to be flogged in a public square. Shame.
And that'll do the show. You guys, I went 2-1 this week, and the one really stung. And apparently it bled into Pascal's winning and losing section. We thank you.
You dick.
Yeah, you're welcome. More to come. You guys, thanks for listening today once again. And always remember, when setting your waivers, to
put it in the air.
This is the Put It in the Air podcast.
Something's up with the mic. I have to be like right in front of it to have my audio sounding.
I think your seat's a little far back. That's probably why.
Well, no, because I was talking like this and it wasn't coming through right. I don't know. We'll see what
moving
the
around.
playback sounds like.
By the way, remember, when setting your waivers, to put it in the air. Remember, when you're setting your waivers, you look at all the details on the waivers, like when this waiver happens.
I think in reality, I maybe need to not put it in the air when I'm setting my waivers.
You probably should be setting your waivers first and doing everything else later.
Yeah, maybe I should wait till like, I don't know. I just fucked up.
It's all good. We've all been there. I actually
set my waivers on Sunday.
Yeah, just no more waivers for you.
I think I'm the waiver king. I don't know if you can keep me away.
Everybody thinks they're the waiver king.
No, we can look at it like number of transactions per season. Maybe we need to do that in the off season.
Colin probably has like 18 weekly waivers.
I know Marvellis has a lot. All right.
On that note,
we out.
Should we run it back?
Damn it, I forgot to press record.
This is the Put It in the Air podcast.